IEEE Young Professionals Bangladesh has hosted STEP events with support from Global IEEE Young Professionals and IEEE Bangladesh section. This year, the IEEE STEP 2020 is being organized jointly by IEEE Bangladesh section and IEEE Young Professionals Bangladesh in collaboration with the 3 student branches from Bangladesh section. So before starting with our inaugural session, I would like to request all the participants to kindly keep their microphones muted and leave your queries in the chat box. You are also requested to introduce yourself with your name, affiliation, and country name in the chat box. So for the inaugural session, I would like to request Dr. M. Tansir Ali Sir, Vice Chair Technical, IEEE Young Professionals Bangladesh, to kindly moderate the opening session. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for joining us. I welcome you to our first virtual STEP program organized by YP and Bangladesh section jointly, and also supported by 3 leading student branches in Bangladesh: BUET, AIUB, and um, North South University. So since we have got a very packed schedule for this morning, and I would like to request our Bangladesh section chair, Professor Celia Shahnaz ma'am, if you please inaugurate the session and start, please, ma'am. I believe we have all the participants. So, ma'am, if with your Celia ma'am, with your permission, we would like to start the inauguration session, ma'am. Aisha, could you please read out the
Hello.
Introduce Celia ma'am? Yes, ma'am.
Hello, everyone. Tansir.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining with us, ma'am.
Yes, it's a great honor. So, do you want to do something, or
Yes,
I will start?
ma'am. Actually, we can start. You can start from here,
Okay.
please.
So it's a great honor. Have you actually made sure that the first and second speaker arrived?
We are on the process, so I will just sharing our schedule, updated schedule. So we are waiting for the.
Yes. Let us first check that whether our first and second speaker have arrived or not, and then we can start.
First speaker, Mohammed Qasim Pasta. He is not here yet with us. And our second speakers, Sabyasachi Mukhopadhyay.
Yes, we
He
have
is
to
not
make
here
sure.
with us. Unfortunately, they are not with us yet.
So we have to wait a bit and make sure they are here and then proceed with the event. Okay. So give me a few minutes. I'm coming back. So by this time, you can request your participants here to write their name and email address. Okay. Then within few minutes, we'll start the program.
Okay, ma'am.
Dear participants, may I request all of you to introduce yourself in the chat box, please? And while our speakers join us shortly, we will be waiting for a few minutes. Thank you.
Tansir? Hello, Tansir.
Yes,
Can you hear
yes,
me?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
We ensured that our first speaker, Kasim Pasta, is here. Hello,
Yes,
Kasim
ma'am.
Pasta. Hope you are here.
Yeah, I'm
Yes, ma'am.
here. Just give me a minute to set up a
No
few things.
problem. Let us, I was waiting for you. So
Okay, sure.
actually, it is a great honor that many participants and speakers are here and already conceived.
Yes, ma'am.
Our young professional vice chair has shared that what is how STEP is organized today by our Bangladesh section and by our Bangladesh section young professional and supported by three prominent student branch who were MGA award winner. Actually, the purpose of this STEP, that we want to improve and we want to encourage our student, okay, so that they then continue their membership even after the undergraduate study, so that they retain in the program. For your kind information, Bangladesh section always design every event targeting this student elevation to young professional. That's why at this moment, according to IEEE annual report, Bangladesh section is running top 5 countries beside USA, India, China, Canada, top 5 country in terms of student membership. Also for last 3 years in whole Asia Pacific, Bangladesh section is among the top 3 sections who have recruited highest number of students who were elevated or transitioned to young professional. So we want to continue this, and to continue this, we are organizing this step like as we do every year. The purpose of today's step is a different because we are passing through a new normal, which is COVID-19 situation. So we want to focus on the skill enhancement and e-learning and in a virtual new condition. And we want to also address different issues that will cover the role of engineers during pandemic and the post-pandemic. And through our different lectures, we also want to know that how IEEE activity and how the initiatives of the role models can inspire sustainable development goals, so that we as an engineer can contribute and continue contributing for the benefit of humanity. So these three are the three major goals, and our respected teachers will be speaking in this in these three themes, although they have a different expertise, and hope it will be beneficial to all of you. And I inaugurate this session, and I welcome the speaker, and I thank the three student branches, especially our young professional and our section executive committee actually, and the section other leadership who directly or indirectly helped me to design this event along with our young professional. Thank you all. Let us welcome Mohammad Kasim Pasta, our first speaker. Tansir, please
Thank
proceed.
you very much, ma'am. Thank you very much, ma'am, for your support. It's been pleasure for us to have prestigious speakers among with us. Uh, we have I was sharing all the schedules and the topics for the whole day, and from the schedule it's apparent that we have a very broad aspects. At the very end I will try to uh, because there are main three focuses on this event, and with that focus we have got 10 speakers. So we first focus or the theme is to prospect e-learning, and then sustainable future is the second theme and second goal, and the final is the SDG goals for the post pandemic scenario. So I would like to welcome uh, our first speaker, Mohammad Qasim Pasta. He is an assistant professor in Osman Institute of Technology, member of IEEE YB Karachi section. His topic would be prospects of e-learning environment, bridge between knowledge-based education and skill-based profession. Mohammad Qasim Pasta, I have made you the co-host. If you want, you can share your presentation slides as well. Thank you very much.
For your kind information, Tansir Kasim,
Yes.
if I'm not wrong, he is a senior member of IEEE and also an IEEE Board graduate. Kasim, we feel proud of you. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks for being here to listen me. It's really great honor to be part of this entire series of workshops and the talks. Um, I hope you all people can see my screen or the slides. Is it okay? Can
Yes,
you?
sir. We
Yeah.
can
Okay.
see it.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. That's great. Yeah. So yeah, as you rightly introduced, my name is Kasim Pasta. I'm associated with Osman Institute of Technology as assistant professor. I'm IEEE senior member. I also belong part of IEEE Computer Society. I completed my world graduate program last year, and this year I am participating as a mentor. I think in this era, we are also need to be one more batch, that is a COVID-19 survivor. So by grace of Allah, I alhamdulillah survived the COVID-19. I got infected around in June, but survived alhamdulillah. So yeah, these are the very extraordinary circumstances, and whatever we are doing, whatever the people who making efforts to connect or to make things normal, they are doing the great job. I'm pretty much sure. So my today's topic is about the prospect of e-learning environment, bridge between knowledge based and education and skill based. Uh, uh, because the restriction for time, I have a very limited of time. The topic is pretty wider. We can talk about hours on these areas, on these issues, but I will try to limit myself, and I will go through a kind of a storyboarding with you all people to discuss what I think my opinion for this topic. Uh, okay, so are you all people ready? And shall we start? Okay.
Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
Yeah. So usually in any such kind of a lecture or in some kind of a seminar or workshop, it's really easy to engage the audience. But in online and kinds of the webinar, it's always a difficult thing. I hope I will be able to catch your attention. So I really understand it might be a bit early morning there as well. For me, it's around 9:24 p.m., probably 10:24, 25 p.m. for Bangladesh. So I just introduced one kind of warm-up activity. Let's hope it will work. So what you need to do, TK, so our digital warm-up activity, in my next 5 slides, you will see 5 different objects, 5 different images, and I will hold each slide for around 10 seconds. So you need to write any word that comes up to your mind. You can use the chat window to convey whatever you are thinking about that picture image in the. So whatever word comes up to your mind, just write in your chat window. So we start. Okay. So this is the first thing. So write whatever you think, whatever comes in your mind when you see this picture. Okay. Nothing is coming in your mind. I have around more than 60 participants. So I'm sure one is actually listening me.
Yes. Yeah. We got one reply.
Yeah.
Office environment.
Let's
Then
move
we
to
got
the
organized, workspace, workplace.
okay. What about this image?
We got angry apple. We got China,
Interesting.
Kung Fu apple, determined, stressed.
Okay. Next one.
Girl in the box, out of the box, think out of the box, nervous,
All right. What about this?
mindset, online class, e-learning, virtual life, new normal, understanding boss,
And we have this as the last one.
lazy,
Interesting
tired,
replies.
careless, thinker,
Uh,
introvert man,
so I can see the number of replies, the number of persons are replying are actually increasing. So I hope I have got your attention. So now I'm back to our presentation. So my format is about, I will talk about 10 minutes. So because of the online and because of the interruption may cause a lot of delays. So what I've decided, we have a chat option. You can post your question during the chat and I will answer your questions in the last 5 minutes. So feel free to send your send your question in chat and we will answer at the end of the presentation. So as as I have to actually come up with this presentation in a very short time, so my prior apologies. I will go through kind of a storyboarding about it and discuss about it. So first we talk about what is a knowledge-based education, what we understand about the knowledge-based education. If we try to find about the knowledge-based education, we will learn a lot about different definitions or different concepts. So different people may treat differently. There are the software available for knowledge-based education, but at the moment we consider knowledge-based education the education which is based around the knowledge or the information. This is the kind of a conventional education we have been having, the kind of education we evolve in a way that we look forward for the knowledge and we believe if we have a knowledge, then we have an education. So if you look at around the kind of the programs we have structured for so many years, probably in 100 years, is a kind of a thing, and a degree is supposed to be awarded to a person who actually validate he or she has some set of a knowledge. Uh, there could be a debate or there could be a question, how can knowledge can be equal to skills or not. For example, solving a mathematical problem is a skills or is a knowledge. So that could be, but at the moment we consider, let's say these all are things that belongs to the knowledge. Uh, so so our entire education system, not by mean of our is not actually the Pakistan, but if you talk about in general in the world, the education, the way we develop or the education system is around the knowledge. If you just try to look how we convey these information or the knowledge, is probably we will think about this kind of a setting. We may think about one of the instructor or one of the professor is actually conveying the knowledge or information or whatever you say, name it, to a larger number of people who are listening, taking notes and trying to understand what has been conveyed. So this is the general understanding of our education system we have. So if we talk about the knowledge-based system, there is nothing wrong. I'm not like saying the knowledge-based system is not important or no, what are the pros and cons. No, we are not going into this at the moment. The point is, this is the way we actually design our own system, our education system. So this system is supposed to convey the knowledge. What would be the end product? What would we have at the end? We will have the knowledge. Let's say if you have done a degree in a certain, maybe in a philosophy, so you may have the knowledge of philosophy. Okay, you may have a knowledge of physics. You may have knowledge of computer. Okay, that's the about. But there still, if you look around, one of the thing about this system is we treat everyone in a similar manner. What we believe everyone has to be learned in a similar manner. But the fact is, everyone is not supposed to be learned in a similar manner. The one proof in this way could be this kind of a theory that a few people are the visual learner, few people are auditory learner, few people are learning a different way. But the another point which I would like to highlight at this stage, and we will discuss later on as well, the one another thing we suppose in this system, or we assume in the system, is the learning has to happen in a sequential manner. We have to learn this first, we have to learn this that, we have to learn this that, and we have to learn this that. Because of this kind of education system, what happened if we look at the job market, or if we look at the job perspectives, the jobs are actually dependent on, at one point, the jobs were dependent upon these degrees. If you have this degree, then you will get this job. If you have this degree, then you will get this job. But if we talk about the current situation, if we talk about the new norms, then probably there are a lot of jobs which are available which does not require the degree. So now we can clearly say that skills are not bound to degrees. If you have a skill, it's not necessary you should have a degree, or you may have a degree or not. So there is a clear distinction we can say. So again, the question or discussion is not about the degree is good or degree is bad. I'm pretty much in favor of there should be degrees, but the point is that there are certain jobs are available, and probably good, these all jobs which are actually listed on this slide are actually heavily paid jobs, but these jobs actually not required any specific degree. In general, if we talk about, yep, in certain in countries, in certain content, in certain region, it may differ. But in general, if we talk about, there are certain skill set which are required for certain jobs, but they do not require any degree. So, but there is a one misconception comes here. That means that these skill doesn't require the knowledge. No, it doesn't the case. Okay. Skills requires the knowledge. Skills are the based on the knowledge, but they don't have to actually, maybe you can say that they don't have to have a set of knowledge. They may have a specific set of a knowledge in order to get learn those skills. So these are the one thing we need to realize. The one thing we say the knowledge based thing, which is the traditional or conventional system. The another thing we say is about the skill based job or school based thing. So these two things we talk about. There is a hand raise. As I discussed in the start of the start of this session, we will you can convey your question through chat, and we will discuss at the end. So these two basic differences we see. Okay, one thing we need to remember about this skills-based thing, for example, any skills-based learning, there can be some degrees which are actually targeted for the skill-based stuff. There can be, but I'm talking about in general. In general, the degrees or the education system is designed for knowledge-based stuff, where at the moment we have a lot of jobs which are based on skill-based stuff. Uh, so yeah, so there can be. So another point which I would like to highlight, usually whenever you are going to learn skills, so you don't learn the skills or a set of skills in a sequential manner. But in a knowledge base, we expect one has to go through some sequences in order to achieve something. For example, let's talk about anything. Let's talk about the welding. If you talk about welding in a conventional education system, in setting of a conventional education system or knowledge-based system, you will find an outline. Okay, you have to learn this, learn this, learn this, learn this, and then you will learn it. But if you talk about some self-learner, how did you learn it? And they will give you the idea. Okay, they did not learn according to the sequence, and this is the fact. Everyone has its own. Everyone has its own learning pattern. Okay, you may have a different learning pattern. I may have a different learning pattern. You may start with something different. I may start something different. This is actually highlights some another aspect as well. So now if we talk about how we can combine these two kind of learning systems. So one is the skill-based learning system, one is the education learning based learning system. So this is the slide I would like to talk about. Okay, we can't say the knowledge is actually something which is not required. We need a knowledge, and we actually build the skills above the knowledge. So there are the many theories, but one of the theory which I would like to display here or show you, that is a pack learning cycle we discuss. Okay, actually we first take the knowledge, then we apply it, then we consider it, and then we transform it, and then we actually go to the procure the knowledge. But the ability to procure a knowledge could be different. That can be different way to procure the knowledge. There could be different way or different mechanism for it. So maybe for someone it could be reading a book to procure a knowledge. For someone could be view a video. For someone it could be a different. Here comes a problem. If we talk about in the knowledge base, if we talk about knowledge based education, we actually try to push one way for everyone. Okay. And if we talk about the skill-based education or skills-based stuff or skill-based jobs, so they say actually if someone is not following that kind of a pattern which is imposed by the instructor or the facilitator or the professor, then that person may not acquire that kind of a skill set. Let's talk about, again, I take the example of a welding in this context, or maybe programming. Take someone may require a different kind of a pattern in order to learn a programming course or programming skill. But if instructor or professor impose a specific kind of a pattern, then probably maybe 50% of class may be able to follow it, but 50% class may not be able to follow it. And then we can see clearly the gap between the skills required for the market and the people may having the degrees, but they don't have the skill set they have. Here it comes one another point. We know the Google recently announced they are going to announce a certification, and this is just one of the example. Okay, they believe the people having the degree does not guarantee they having those kind of skills, and they believe they can actually inculcate these kind of skills in just 6 months of course. So this actually highlight the few flaws or few loopholes we have in our current settings. I just want to give you one point. If we talk about the online learning, if we talk about the COVID actually caused or forced us to go towards the online learning. So what did it actually cause? We might have seen this kind of the settings or this kind of the scenes in our surroundings. We have seen kids are learning from the videos, from the lectures. And so what we are actually fostering, okay, if you look around, the self-learning is happening a lot. We all know I'm pretty much, I'm not against the teacher, but I actually would like to quote one of the very prominent figure from India, and I think he's working from some of the Western countries. So Sughamitra, I believe so a lot of people are aware about it. This is one of his experiment. He actually placed a computer in a remote village, in some of the remote villages in India, and there was no person actually to guide these kids, and they able to learn these all stuff by themselves. So it's really you may say it raises a lot of questions about the presence of a teacher. So I'm pretty much sure I'm not against the teacher, but this actually says if there is a no teacher, then still a learning can happen. This is the similar case we have faced or we have seen in this COVID era. Okay, I have seen in my home, you may have seen in your home, especially in terms of if I talk about Pakistan, the schools are still off. Students, even the students of 5 years or 6 years, they are supposed to learn through online learning and this stuff. And we know the self-learning is happening. They are exploring by themselves. They are going to do it by themselves. So this is the one of the advantage we have with the e-learning. E-learning allow us to actually explore different options. Now we have ability to connect the different people in different way. So if two different people having the two different way to learn, they can go with it. Okay. So the idea is, for example, if I'm a kind of a video guy, so e-learning portal allow me to actually view the video as well. If I am a kind of a reader guy, I prefer to read and understand, then I will go prefer first to read the stuff, and then I will watch the video, and then I will probably apply it. But if I am kind of a visual guy, then I will go to the portal. First, I will watch the video, I will try some experiment, and then I come back to the read the some stuff. So this is the great power of the actually the e-learning tool environments or e-learning tools we have. So this is, I just want to add this quote actually to emphasize there is nothing teacher is absence of teacher actually is permissible or something like this. I am a teacher. I pretty believe the role of teacher has been changed. Role of teacher has been changing from many years. Probably the role of a teacher we have today now was not the case around 100 years back. Probably 100 years back, a teacher is supposed to read a number of books, create notes, and deliver these notes to the students so they can learn from a concise way. But now these information are available on one click or one tap away. So the role of a teacher is something different. So now I really can relate this stuff, the whatever they happening now. If I try to relate that, actually in my 20-30 years back, if I go back to 20 years back of my life, when I started learning the computers, there were no internet at this stage in Pakistan. So how did I learn how we were learning at that stage? We went to the some you may say bookstores, and we tried to find some books related to computer. Somehow those books transferred to Pakistan through scraps or through some other way around. So we've tried to learn, okay, is there any interesting book or something like that? But if you try to map around the how we being human, how we were learning before the pre-internet era. There was a pre-internet era. There was a time when there was no internet. So, for example, if someone want to learn be a carpenter, how could he or she could learn? One way could be he or she could go to the carpenter, another carpenter, and try to learn by him, from him or her. But if someone, if that's not the case, the other way around is actually, okay, he or she will get a book, and he or she will read the book, and then they will try to implement something like this. So if we look around at current state, the environment of the learning which is available on the internet, through the internet, is similar kind of it. If you want to learn something, you can go to the internet, you can find some relevant course, you can learn those courses, and you can implement it. So one of my mentor, Dr. Irfan, is always say this kind of words. Okay, we are actually solving the same problem that we have solved in 1980, but in a different context. So I believe so the history is repeating itself as well again. Okay, we are actually going back to that point that we have to learn by ourselves. So there are a lot of knowledge available. At that time, there was a lot of books were available, but at the moment, there are a lot of resources available on the internet. But the best way to connect these resources is actually the one thing we started with, the massive open online courses or the MOOCs. But MOOCs somehow did not get much success. MOOCs were successful, but they did not get some, I believe the success they were expecting, they did not get it. But somehow the COVID-19 happened, fortunately or unfortunately, but for e-learning point of view, I think this is fortunate case for the e-learning, this COVID-19. So this COVID-19 forced us to actually adopt to the e-learning. And then everyone tried to find the solution of the problem we are having at the moment. So now we have the improved tools. Now we have the improved pedagogies. Earlier, the professor were reluctant. Now the professor were forced to do it. And I believe so. The actual glue is a willingness of self-learning. Earlier, we were not very much self-learned. We were not very much willing to self-learn. But because of the COVID-19, we had no more option, and we were willing to, and we are willing to go for self-learning. So everyone has got benefit because of these e-learning tools and e-learning environment. But how do I see actually? I see now this e-learning can improve further. By this way, we can provide, instead of forcing the conventional mechanism to e-learning, we should provide the different streams, different mechanism for our learners. We should not force one specific mechanism, because that one specific mechanism actually can convey the knowledge, but not skills for everyone. If a professor is a kind of a guy who's a visual guy, then probably the students who are the visual student can get benefit. But in case of e-learning, you can provide the different streams. You can provide a different way to actually achieve it. And now we have more tools. Now we have more power. So this is my basis. We should use these tools and these powers is actually to achieve the different streams. We should not enforce, or we should not impose the one stream or one way of learning through these tools. The very important point I would like to highlight that I have been actually educating for the last few minutes is learning is not necessary to be sequential. In general setting, we believe the learning can be sequential. Yeah, I really understand to teach a course, to structure a course, to structure a learning, we may have to make it a sequential. But it is not necessary. The learning should also happen a sequential. This e-learning allows us, for example, you may start from module 5, you may start from module 3, you may start from module 2, you may start from lab. You are a kind of a guy who is very much about the code, and you don't like the theory and stuff. But once you have started the code, then you realize I need to refer the theory. But in general setting, if you enforce, you have to go to the theory first, then probably that guy will lose the interest and will not come to the coding as well. So this is the point. We can achieve this kind of stuff through e-learning, through e-portals, through e-learning stuff, but probably that was not the case in case of the general setting we talk about. So I believe this is the gap we can fill about it. In my opinion, there could be many more, but in my opinion, this is the gap that we can achieve through e-learning portals or through e-learning environments. So that's all from my side. Thank you everyone for listening, and if there is any question, I would happy to answer any question.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yes.
Actually, I can't see if there is any question, but we will collect all the questions. If anyone have any questions, we can contact with you. We can send it to your email, and we can communicate after the session as well.
Sure, I would love to answer. My contact details are given as well. So yeah, thank you everyone. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. It was a very informative session. We can all understand how the paradigm is shifting from knowledge-based education to skill-based education. And we can all agree that COVID-19 has given us more room for development. So we have with us our second speaker, Mr. Sabyasachi Mukhopadhyay. He is an assistant professor, faculty of analytics in PG Management Studies, postgraduate management studies, BIMS, Kolkata, affiliated to MAKUT, and he is a member of in IEEE Kolkata section. So I welcome Sabyasachi Mukhopadhyay. Sir, if you kindly, yes, we can see your slides.
Okay, so thank you very much, sir, for your generous introduction. So kindly let me know if the slide is visible to you.
Yes, it's visible.
Okay, excellent. So today our topic is basically about problem-solving approaches in post-COVID scenario by technologists. And definitely we'll go through that what are the steps we should follow in the post-COVID scenario, because you see across the globe there are more than 80% people who are under the bottom of pyramid category, and India it is in more than 96% people who are under the bottom of pyramid category. So you can understand the life will be miserable if somebody is suffering from the diabetic retinopathy, cancer, or something like the life hazardous diseases. What will be this current scenario? So economic structure has completely broken down, and we have to see that how or what are the possible paths we should follow in that particular case. So just a second, give me 1 minute. I think somehow my enter button is not working. Just a second. So I am not being able to go to next slide. Let me stop the screen sharing.
শোনা যায় না কেন? মিউটেড ইউ লেখা।
Okay, now it is fine. Thank you. So what problem should we solve So gradually we shall discuss, and then what should be our current approaches in the during the post-COVID scenario, being a technologist, being a scientist, being a professor, whatever may be our profession, how we should focus on a more towards the real world, bringing the real world life solutions. So definitely I will showcase some ways of thought-provoking ways, because you see, fall it comes philosophy, then it comes science, then it comes technology, followed by product development and marketing. This is how the process follows in general in any kind of the tech oriented products. So nowadays we have to more focus on the real world scenario, that how we can address the real world problems, how we can justify or the path, or find out the pathways, probable pathways to solve those particular problems, and come up with a solution which can create impact on bottom of pyramid. Okay, so and you all are aware that across the globe there that people work on the basis of skill matrix matching. For example, a boy named X who is very strong in analytics, a girl named Y, she can be very strong in marketing, and another person named Jed, who he or she can be very strong in Android app development. So different skill setup of the people who will come together and will develop a certain impactful product, which actually can be a very impactful towards the bottom of pyramid section. Because as I told you, that if you see the GDP scenario across the globe, that has completely broken down during the COVID-19 period. So in the post-COVID-19 scenario, we most have to be focused on a certain process-based way, such that we can come up with a real-life impactful solution through our daily life innovations. Okay, so what is a problem worth solving? So if we pick up a theme like digital tech in agriculture, so what are the areas? If you see, more or less healthcare, agriculture, these two are the most prominent areas where we can explore our innovations. Like my earlier speaker talked about e-learning is a very informative talk, very nice talk. And now if we can think like the zones like agriculture or healthcare, that how we can bring the innovations towards the market in post-COVID scenario. So first of all, resource map, people and organizations. We'll gradually discuss about people and organizations, user beneficiaries, breakthroughs and risk factors associated to it, and definitely thereafter problem canvas, solution canvas, and finding plots. So what are the, for example, if I map the problem in the healthcare domain, I think I feel lots of people, because due to the COVID scenario, all people are restricted towards home, and we all are working from home. So that's why the official works are even running from home. So that's why all of you may be quite keen about the healthcare theme. So if we talk about the healthcare theme, if we are bringing certain healthcare based products in the market, so who can be the possible people, who can be the interested people? So basically people from the hospitals, nursing homes, medical clinics, doctors, patients, okay, and any other persons who are interested with this medical related professions. So these are the interested zones. So user and beneficiaries, definitely, if you bring a product, for example, any kind of the early stage COVID detection product through AI or any other digital innovations, it can be life-threatening diseases like cancer. It can be a cause of blindness. For example, a disease like diabetic retinopathy or diabetic macular edema. So these are the diseases people are suffering, and you can see the cost of the treatment is quite high. So can we reduce the treatment cost through our innovations, whatever we have in our hand, the tools like AI, IoT, whatever we call in daily life examples. So breakthroughs and risk factors. So that is the resource mapping. You see, whenever we launch a certain product in the market, it may work, it may not work. So there are some factors associated with it. So any organizations or any, it is also good for any new startup as well, whoever is trying to bring a new sort of solutions in the market. So first of all, resource mapping is a very important point to look after all those factors, such that we can remove the risk factors associated with that. So gradually we shall discuss about those things. So again, it is creating a problem. It is not moving. I think there are some network issues. So what I am doing, I am not directly sharing the screen because it is creating some problem due to the moving of the screen. I can see there due to some network issues. So what I will do, I will just scroll down the slides. Okay, so you may not be able to see the full screen, but I think it is okay because at least all the screens will be visible to you.
Yeah, I
So
think it should be fine, sir.
organizational list. Okay, so organizational lists. So basically, organization, companies, startups, government departments, who are the basically interested in to become a stakeholder in your innovations, in your products, because you see, even governments across the globe, they are also announcing new protocols, new rules for working protocols modes in case of the post-COVID scenario, and even those who are working in a challenging problem, disruptive so problems who can actually challenge who can actually provide the solutions towards the disruptive challenges. So their governments and different grants are available also. For example, if you see the known published challenges provided by the UN, NSF, DBT or DST even in India, so these there are a lot of opportunities, and definitely the partners. For example, you know that if we talk about the seed funders, who provides basically the seed funding to start off your own venture, if you want to start your own venture, or if you start a new project in your school, colleges or universities. So basically there are opportunities to get the fund from state seed funder. In Indian currency we call it the range in generally 25 lakh to 50 lakh range of funds. But then gradually, if your prototype gets successful, or you go towards the fundings like from the VCs or venture capitalists, who fund around 5 crore to 50 crore in Indian currency. And apart from that, there are obviously the private and government stakeholders are there. There are a lot of opportunities. So one is the grant, another one we can call it as a stakeholder basis. They will take a stakeholder basis approach. So they will give you certain sort of money, but they will they will take a certain sort of stakes. It may be 2%, 3% of the stake if you are launching new startups. So and obviously the data sets and information resources, because we nowadays in the digital world and who are exploring in the data science domain or any other computer science or engineering related domain. So we are quite aware that the Kaggle and the GitHub is coming up a handful resources in terms of the getting access of the data to build your own prototypes. So once you can develop the prototypes on the basis of the online available data, then if it is in the healthcare domain, definitely you have to approach the hospitals. Otherwise you will not be able to develop the products, because doctors are at the end of the day ultimate decision makers of your alpha testing and beta testing phase of the products. But in any other domain, like in agriculture or any other potential domain, definitely accessing those online resources data can give you the potential outcome, whatever you want to develop. So if I say the next slide, that user and beneficiaries. Now user and beneficiaries, we have to see who are the potential influencers like, for example, in healthcare domain, if we talk about, it will definitely be the eminent doctors, because they are involved with the several medical boards who actually can guide you that whatever the products you are making through your innovations, that whether this product can create impact while in making the treatments of the patients or not. But main motto should be the cost reductions, because I told you that even in the post-COVID scenario, it is almost 96 to 7% in our third world countries like India and Bangladesh, people are under the bottom of pyramid category. So it's a quite challenging scenario, that how we can bring down the treatment cost, but with high precision of the treatment. That means, for example, in case of the biopsy, if we talk about, which is being considered as the gold standard in cancer treatment. It has the accuracy level around 65 to 70%. But if we can provide AI-based solutions, which can come up with an accuracy 90 to 95%, so that can create exact, impactful solutions in while making treatments of the patients. So, and besides, you see, that biopsy may take 2 weeks of time to come up with the report. Whether we can, through our AI-based solutions like edge computing or cloud computing-based analytical solutions, if we can provide the analytical few minutes, what can be better than that? And obviously, if you see the market, there is no lack of buyers or sponsors, because if you map this particular problem in the healthcare domain, you can understand that there are ample amount of the medical clinics, hospitals, and patients, and so there will be no lack of, no dearth of the buyers of your product. And definitely the background research, as I told, that any case studies, whenever you start, whenever you launching a new venture, you always concentrate on what kind of the background research you require, whether we have the adequate amount of the resources in terms of the technologist or available hardware or software infrastructure. So infrastructural facilities, and definitely one thing comes up with the funding or financial facilities in terms of to incorporate the expensive international or national projects, which has a huge potential to create impact on the billions of lives. So breakthroughs, benefits, and risk factors. So basically, obviously, like breakthrough, whenever you get this success, so they definitely it has a huge potential, which because I told you that there is a chances of creating impact on the bottom of pyramid level. But obviously you can make your approach to the parallel technologies. Like I told you, that we have now opportunities. It's not only the cloud-based approach, you can also take the help of the edge computing or fog computing based approach, because edge and fog, it removes the latency problem. Okay, because nowadays we transfer the data in cloud, we store the data in cloud, and what does it actually makes the problem is that that due to huge congestions, we can experience the latencies, and which actually affects the real-time analytical solutions. Okay, in the areas like agriculture, healthcare, or banking transactions, you require the real-time output. So in those areas, you see the edge computing and fog computing can create huge impact, because you are bringing down the computational resources nearby the data sources. So as a result, there are chances of the security. I mean, your data is more secure, and the data transfer cost is also being saved. So you can see we are basically creating an impactful solution, and there are the possible chances of creating impactful solution in this way. But obviously there are frictions. What does it imply? The frictions may come up in terms of the regulation biases. So regulation, the country to country, the regulation varies, and obviously you have to be aware about the certain regulations imposed by the government. So for example, like I told you, that if it is in healthcare domain, you have to collaborate with hospitals, and whenever you are going to collect the data from the hospitals, because once you have validated your solutions from the online data sets, whenever you are going for the building the real world solutions or products, you have to definitely try up with the hospitals, and doctors will advise you to sign up IRB protocols with the hospitals. And in these protocols, you have to make sure that whatever the tools or technologies you are using, that should be a completely non-invasive, first of all. Secondly, you are not supposed to reveal the patient information. You have to give the respect towards the patient's privacy. So privacy, data privacy, as well as your non-invasive approach will be the foremost priority, and along with the different properly aligned government rules and regulations will be there, and you have to strictly follow them, and you have to keep it in your mind whenever you are deploying and you deploying the advanced technologies in Industry 4.0 era to create impact, large scale impact, I must say, on the bottom of pyramid domain. So financial risk factors, definitely it may happen that you may go for the financial crunch, you may run up. So proper judgment of the proper timeline. Like I may require 3 years of the time span to execute this particular project, and I will require this sort of amount. It may be 10 crore, 50 crore, or 100 crore in Indian currency. So whatever the timeline, you have to fix up. Okay, so executing risks, limiting factors. Okay, so what may happen that if the project fails, and all those things, these things can be implemented during the resource mapping time. Okay, so now problem canvas. For example, you see I have jotted down the problem canvas. If you look after it, the techniques it is in the done on the basis of the agriculture domain. The problems like greenhouses, crop predictions, farmer finances, weather stations, whether the techniques you are utilizing, because you see that nowadays we capture the data through sensors. So the methodologies like AI is one of the pivotal tool where we in terms of the prediction purpose, and obviously crowdsourcing is a very good way of gathering required data. Now, imagine that if I map the same problem in the healthcare domain, so what will be the possible problem factors? First of all, if for example I am developing a AI-based cancer detection solution, so what will be the possible factors in that case? Imagine, like I told, that expensive treatment. Okay, biopsy is quite expensive. Secondly, the accuracy factor, this is 65 to 70% accuracy it has. Still it is being considered as the gold standard. And if we consider the third point, that it takes 2 weeks time to come up with the report. So the techniques will remain same: sensor, AI, crowdsourcing. Maybe you can add one more column, collaborations with hospitals. But the problem domain, these problems will come up. Okay, and you have to proceed towards the proper planning and proper methodology. Okay, as I told you that we are under the almost all the countries across the globe under the financial crunch, and GDP has gone down. So that's the reason that we have to be very systematic in terms of generating the impactful solutions towards your countrymen. So solution canvas. So if you look at the solution canvas, now you see what are the constraints we have: cost, time, and impact. So definitely we have got certain grants. So we have been given the timeline of 2 years or 3 years of timeline you have, and within that particular timeline you have to create impactful solutions. So scenarios, if you look after, so greenhouses AI in case of the deploying AI in agriculture domain, crop prediction sensors, okay, farmer finances, okay, so weather station. So these are the possible scenarios. So if we map the same problem in the healthcare, so what will be the scenarios? Like I talked about the AI-based early stage cancer diagnostic example. So what will happen? Enhanced accuracy through AI, nearby 90 to 95%. Obviously, come up with, generate the report within few minutes. Will be another solutions. So in this way, you have to think about the solution canvas to create impact on bottom of pyramid level. So finding plots. Now the whole scenario is clear in front of you. That I told you that philosophy is very important. You may be a great scientist, maybe a great researcher, maybe a great in other professions, maybe a great technologist. But if the philosophy is not clear in front of you, you will not be able to justify the potential of the certain projects. So basically, cost and time, you can now jot down the major points here. That what is the current market size, what are the current constraints, and how are you overcoming those constraints in terms of the financial, maybe in terms of the technological resources, and how the skill matrix matching is going to benefit in your particular project. So because you see across the globe, any top organizations, if you look after, whether it's Google, whether it's Facebook, or whether it's even in the academic institutes like Stanford University, Harvard University, or MIT, every top research groups are working in terms of the skill matrix matching, where you will have the diversified skill setup in your group, such that you can explore in a broader domain, and you can explore on the disruptive challenges, which actually can give you the proper path to explore in terms of creating the impact on billions of lives. So milestones. So definitely map of users we talked about resource requirement, dependencies, and workarounds. steps and decision points. So guides, so let's see. So Helmer is one of the most revered scientists or technologists across the globe. Like in science, people worship Einstein, so Helmer is being worshipped by the technologist. So basically, he has the one of the he is the most number of the patent holders across the globe, and you can see that you mostly aware of the one of his most famous invention as the liquid crystal display LCD. So what are the questions he's arising? Because we should be very careful about the 9 questions he has arises, that if you can address these 9 questions to yourself or to your team, then you are clear about the mission and vision of your project. Because you see, he's the one of the most topmost innovator across the globe. So we must follow what he's saying. So first of all, what are you trying to do, and articulate objectives without using jargon? This is very important point. And second point is, how is it done today, and what are the limitations of current scenarios? What's new in your approach? Why do you think it will be successful? Next, who cares? If you are successful, what difference will it make? And the next point, if you look, what are the risks and payoffs? At the point number 7, if you look at how much will it cost? Point number 8, how long will it take? And point number 9, what are the midterms and final exams to check for success? So this is a very important slide. So if you want to create impactful solutions in the post-COVID scenario where we have so much constraints, so we have to be very to the point and definitely follow these pathways, irrespective of your profession, to create impact towards your countrymen with your innovations. So this is the lean canvas. If you look after, so basically problems, we have talked about the solution metrics, we have talked about the key matrices, unfair advantages, channels, customer segments. Now unique value proposition, cost structure, revenue streams, I will discuss with one of the examples how we have used those things in our own cases. Because why I am telling you, whether have I tested these pathways for myself? Definitely. And that those appreciations I will definitely show you during next couple of slides. So now you see, with our product, we have followed the same path, and we come up with low cost based solutions and to diagnose the early stage cancer in the healthcare solutions. So what are the impact we have created? So basically, by providing the pain-free early stage cancer diagnosis, a low cost portable device, generating report within few minutes, automatic solutions, and highly efficient. If you see, this is the outlook of our smartphone based oral cancer diagnosis product. So this is basically give you the generating the report within few minutes by using AI. You can utilize the edge computing as well as the cloud computing based solutions. In both the ways, it can give you the optimum benefit. So unique selling propositions, like I was telling about. So replacing painful and cost-effective biopsy, 100 times cheaper than biopsy, and the accuracy is more than 95%, portable, lightweight, and 80 times faster than biopsy. Business model, like I told you, that whenever you are coming up with a proper methodology or proper directions, you should keep in mind that what kind of the ways you can actually create the business model. So this is one of the business model we have followed for our another innovation for the eye retinal diseases like diabetic macular edema. So software as a service, if you can charge 100 rupees per scan, it is nothing if you consider about the current market standard. So I am telling you that in post-COVID scenario, we have to look after the low cost based approach, low cost affordable healthcare domain, that in the 100 rupees INR, you are providing the optimum solutions. And obviously growth strategies, and so they're all, because we have explored in the healthcare domain. So I am giving you some examples like how you should plan the growth strategies. For example, ongoing clinical trials in hospitals, revenue sharing model with the doctors, because they are the ultimate decision makers. So you have to give them the priority, obviously, because your tools and methodologies will be a catalyst. In agricultural domain, you have to obviously give the priority towards the farmer and other stakeholders, definitely. And this is how the competitive landscape will look like. So if you look after that these all are the ways of the bringing your innovations in the low cost affordable healthcare domain, like low cost accuracy, smart device, data driven. We all satisfying this every element of these points in terms of the other competitors. So these are the ways to reduce the cost margin, enhance the accuracy level, and create impact on the bottom of pyramid. And that is the foremost motto should be in case of our current post-COVID scenario. So these are few of the media appreciations, the way the path we have followed, because I told you that first of all your philosophy should be very, very clear. So we are the first group across the globe that we have explored in this way in bringing down the AI in case of the handle-based solution treatment for the early stage eye disease detections like diabetic retinopathy, diabetic macular edema. So, and these are the few newspaper appreciations of those. The Hindu, Business Standard, these are all the leading newspapers from India. Okay, then obviously we have also got some success in terms of the cancer research I talked about, that we have explored the same way, that how we have tied up with the hospitals, how we have bring down the different stakeholders from India to right from the to directly from the Silicon Valley, USA. So they all become the generous, because you see the potential of these pathways of what we have followed in earlier cases. So basically, you can see the Hindu Business Standard, they have all appreciated our works. And our cancer research has been included in the syllabus of the Indian leading competitive exams and most toughest exam like UPSC, IAS, banking, IBPS. Okay, so and definitely we are the first runner-up in the MIT hackathon across the globe, which has been organized in 2017. And definitely I also got the already mentioned by the Embassy India to Switzerland for this bringing down this innovation, low cost based affordable solution innovation to create impact on the bottom of pyramid. So my whole point is that I have already tested whatever the path I have mentioned. If you can follow, definitely you can excel in any of these domains, any of the domain, whether it is agriculture or any other domain where you want to create impact in the post-COVID scenario. Because nowadays, remember that there are 96% people under the bottom of pyramid category. These 96% people do not have enough money to pay tax. So that's why always whatever the solutions you are bringing, it should be a mass level solution. It should be scalable, and it should provide the optimum benefit towards the third world country. And let's make the science and technology to the blessings of the society, okay, through our whatever the limited capacity we have. So this was an humble effort to give you some idea about the essence and what the possible pathways what we should follow. So these are my social media handle details. So if you want, you can connect me anytime. And Professor Celia Sanas has my contact details. So if anybody require any kind of guidances, you can easily contact with me. So thank you very much for giving me the opportunity with this esteemed platform to share a few of my thoughts, what are the pathways we should follow. And during the COVID scenario, I can just pray for all of you that all of you should please stay safe, take care, stay home, stay safe, and take care of yourself. And obviously, thank you very much. Thanks a lot. If you have any question, please feel free to ask me.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. It was a very informative session.
Thank you so much.
And with some very good examples, which from your experience, impactful. So actually, we can ask, if you have any question, you can chat or you can unmute yourself and ask the questions. And actually, I have one question, sir. If you, how you can balance the, the bottom of the society, if you want to create an impactful solution, and you want to make some changes, but how can you ensure the business side of it? Do you want to make money or do you want to help? How to balance this?
Okay, so look, this is a very, 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 very fantastic question, and definitely. But you see, nothing comes in this world free. Okay, so you have to look up the monetary side for definitely. But as I told you, that you are providing low cost solutions. such that most of the people under the bottom of pyramid, I must say the full coverage you can do with your low cost solution under the bottom of pyramid category. Like the treatment cost I mentioned, that rupees 10 to 100 rupees per scan, it can be affordable by any people. So that's the area I'm talking about. It is still 100,000 times cheaper than the biopsy. If you consider the cost margin in Indian currency, it is still thousands times cheaper than the biopsy. And you are getting the accuracy level more than 90%, where you have the accuracy level around 65 to 70 in case of the biopsy, and it is completely painless solutions, and you can generate the report within few minutes. So in this way, I'm talking about that. For example, if you want to start your own ventures like startups and all those things, and whenever you are working as an academicians and all those things, that government are nowadays telling people to have some sort of this self-revenue model, revenue generating model. But there is no harm that if you can give the benefits towards the common people at a very low cost site. So that's why I'm talking about this is going to create impact in the low cost affordable. If we talk about the healthcare domain, it will be the healthcare domain. So low cost affordable healthcare. This is called the low cost affordable healthcare, such that majority of the people can get the benefit out of it, and the cost margin is very less, so there is no problem. But you should have your own sustainable model, definitely, and that's the main motto, whether it is in terms of the research or technology, or whether in terms of the financial, if we talk about the financial side or the revenue side.
Okay, thank you very much, sir, for your.
Thank you.
If we get any more questions, we can also share it with your email.
Sure.
Later,
Sir.
you can give the answer to the audience if they
Thank
have
you
any
so
question
much.
later.
Thanks a lot. And I before I sign out, just I want to mention one thing. I recently during December I went to Bangladesh. People are so much loving and so much caring. I must mention that. Because I got the warm welcome in Borisal, and that's a fantastic days. I have spent few days there. I mean, I have a fantastic experience there. So thank you very much again for giving me the opportunity. Please take care, stay safe, and wish you all the success for the event. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Sabyasachi.
Thank you very much.
Tansir, we have our next speaker, Professor
Yes.
Jabbar, our other speaker, Krishna Kumar,
Yes.
Aftab, Ramesh, and Dr. Tasif, all are present here. Okay. Let us move with the presentation, and it's a great honor. And I request the students and young professionals here, please ask questions. This program is designed for you. So please ask question, at least in the chat box. Thank you. Go ahead, please.
Thank you very much. Now I would like to request Dr. M.A. Jabbar, who is professor at Bardhaman College of Engineering, Vice Chair, IEEE Hyderabad Computer Society Chapter. He will be giving us a talk on the topic, an insight into prospects of e-learning environment, bridge between knowledge and skill-based profession. I would like to, sir, I have made you co-host, so you can share your presentation slides.
Yeah,
sir.
Thank you for your nice introduction. Let me share the screen. Hope this is visible to all.
No, sir. We can just only see the files, but not the slides. So if you can stop the share again, and because I think you have selected differently.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Now we can see.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you, Manandal, for inviting me for a wonderful event. On behalf of IEEE CS chapter, Hyderabad section, and Bardhaman College of Engineering. So I appreciate your the efforts and a special thanks to Shahnaz Madam, who is the front runner in organizing these kinds of the events. I think you are one of the outstanding I can say section. I have observed you are conducting a lot more events. This is only happens when there is a strong I can say the leader, motivator and the mentor, like Shahnaz Madam. I hope you are all blessed, to have that kind of great the leader. Today, I will discuss about what actually the e-learning, how it is making an impact on the education. All right, my title is An Insight into Prospectus of E-Learning Environment and how it is making bridge between knowledge-based education and skill-based education. As we all know, due to this pandemic, we all move to different kinds of learning called e-learning. This e-learning before this pandemic also, right? People are all engaged the learning various concepts through remotely. So exactly what actually the reason behind the spike of e-learning, why it is popular. So e-learning became popular because we can say internet. The internet users are increasing, and thanks to the technology, because of the faster bandwidth, so it will help boosting the growth of e-learning. So not only the government organization or the universities, different corporate companies and governments, they are investing in e-learning. Even the MNCs like the Google, or it may be Facebook or any other like big MNCs, they started the e-learning. They are training their employees to acquire various the skills. The education system has focused more and more, right? Sorry, more and more, right? Learning instead of teaching. The days are gone where there is only the teacher-centric learning. Now it is student-centric, right? We are all discussing about outcome-based education. The motto of the learning is how a student has learned, the various concepts, right? The development of learning theories has changed the nature, right? 1 minute. Yeah, students learning and perception. So it is completely the changed. The scenario has been changed when the concept of e-learning has evolved, right? And knowledge today is considered something socially built throughout student actions, communications, and reflections. The motto is how the students are getting and how the students are being involved, right? So we are moving from the traditional classroom approach to the outcome-based, learning approach, right? Is completely changed into a model of practical experimentation and interaction. Earlier, there are the concept of e-learning where the teacher used to post his material or some kind of the pre-recorded videos on the web portal. But the scenario has changed. When a teacher is teaching, the students can able to follow the concept and he can interact online, right? Teachers, I can say, they perform the role of supporter instead of, I can say, simply information provider. Teachers, I can say, they are extension of the parents, right? Now, when the globalization has started, when the students want to get more and more information, now he started, okay, thinking how to, okay, get the concept from the different universities. The number of e-learning revolutions, it came from different educational revolutions. There are so many revolutions has started even in the education sector also. Unlike industry, like we have industry 1.0, 2, 3, 4. Like there is a dramatic change in the education sector also. The invention of reading and writing has been changed. Right now, you can say Amazon Kindle, where you can open your okay PDF, you can start reading, and there are some voice-based text also. You can, when you are reading, it will give the voice. The emergence of the profession of a teacher and scholar, and completely there is a movable change in the printed technology, and also there is a change in the electronic technology. Because of these revolutions, the e-learning completely has changed. Actually, what are the different types of e-learnings, right? It may be web-based training, as I mentioned earlier. So where the teacher will post, like I can say the blogs, where the teacher posts his lecture material on the personal blogs or on the website, right? Where the students go to the corresponding website, he can the download material, okay, he can follow the lectures. And another kind of the e-learning is the supported online learning, right? And third is informal e-learning. These are the generally the various kinds of e-learning methodologies are there. So what technologies the e-learning, the faculty, the universities, what technologies they are using, right? They are using blogs, right? So, but here, if you can take the blogs, there is no one-to-one interaction will be there. And it will lead to some kind of okay, teacher-centric learning. Only that it will one way, where teacher he will post his right, the material and the resource. And there are some type of collaborative softwares are also available, right? Discussion boards are there, where we can chat, we can post our questions, the corresponding the teacher and the faculty member, he look after the questions, he will the answers. Okay, like we can say pre-recorded videos for that one, like the Coursera, right, Udemy, like that. And there are other the kinds of the technology used is education management system, right? And the another interesting the technology is educational animation. Generally, these the technology is playing a vital role, okay, especially in the engineering education. If you can see, if you want to teach the students in like a 3D or the 2D dimensions, or if you want to discuss about even for the medical education, so simply the teaching the theory will not work. We need to give some kind of information, some insight, okay, how the various the models are working, how the human body is functioning. So many of the universities, they started developing some kind of the animations. Second, next, another interesting is games. Generally, these kind of the learning scenarios will be helpful for the primary and secondary education. Why? Because simply if I okay, explain the theoretical, the students, especially the primary and higher education, primary and secondary students, they will not get to understand. Right? So they require some kind of animations. They require some kind of animation, some kind of games. If you can teach them, right, the concepts through simple games, okay, so they will better understand. That is where, okay, this kind of gaming learning, okay, has ever. There is a huge, okay, market industry in India. we have one e-learning platform called Byju's. Actually, he's also from the teaching fraternity. Nobody expected he's going to become one of millionaire. Okay, do you expect what is the revenue of him? Right? He contacted the various teachers. He collaborated the subject experts. He developed the resource material from the for the CBSE as well as the primary school children. All the software is embedded in the tabs, and they started distributing to them. So they started and as of now, the current the revenue is almost 700 crores per annum. See, there is a huge potential for this I can say education sector. How they became successful, right? Because apart from the traditional classroom teaching, they started implementing various kinds of methodologies, like teaching with the different kinds of animations, small games, and interactive sessions, right? So, and they also started like web-based teaching material, right? They reached almost all corners of the villages, even for the students. That is where they started collaborating with the different people, and they expanded their business. There is huge potential, right, for this the e-learning concept. So what actually the benefits of e-learning? And one the thing that we need to remember is, whatever the technology is available, even Google is also available, but I can proudly say, no technology will replace a teacher. Okay, so teacher is an essential part, but at the same time, the teaching has to be expanded, involving various kinds of technologies, right? So the benefits, there are so much of benefits are there for e-learning, available just in time, and can be used continuously. You can 365 days, 24/7, you can go to the corresponding concept I can learn. Anywhere you can access the learning material anywhere at any time, right? And the e-learning has the capability to reach unlimited number of employees, right? And they will reduce the even cost reductions also, right? And the another advantage is uniformity of delivering of training. When you are teaching, through the e-learning platform, you can uniformly deliver the training. And another advantage with the benefits of the e-learning is you can achieve cost reduction, right? Simply you need one system, you need required software, right? Record your videos, and upload in your corresponding portal, right? Reduction in time as it takes to deliver the training, right? And also there are some softwares developed in order to track the learning activities of the learner, because as I mentioned, so unless until this e-learning is effective, right, unless until it is not student centric, nobody will loves the e-learning. So there is a research going on, how we need to make the learner, right, how we need to keep track of these the learning activities, right? So there are some softwares available, they are going to keep track of these learning activities. And another the wonderful advantage is there is a chance of connecting globally, and we can collaborate with a different organization. Okay, what are the prospects of e-learning? right? And one is dynamism, I can say. Learners will progress at the pace that suits them. Okay, assume that if they are unable to understand the concept, okay, they will again they stop the video and they will start okay, listening the corresponding video. And real time, I can say, learners have the access to information that is correct and that is up to date. They can check on the videos and keep on. We need to update the content and also the database. They can collaborate with the okay experts and they can discuss with the various issues. They can get the answers. They can even participate in the simulations, okay, and the speed of delivery, right? The learners will get the benefit from the learning. Okay, they will get the right sort of the training at the right time with the right people. So let us say simply, if I'm sitting at Hyderabad, if you want to okay access the contents of, let us take Oxford University. If the Oxford University is providing the learning capabilities, if they have the learning, the platform, right? Simply, I'll sit with my laptop. I will log in with my credentials, and I can okay listen. I can follow the teaching of the eminent professors. That is the great convenience in that one. Learners, they are having the access when they want it, right? And the consistency will be same for all the learners. They have the okay, they can access to the same content. What actually the future of learning, right? So in order to meet the needs of the changing world, okay, the future learning must take on more of the following qualities, right? Unless until the learner, okay, will not satisfy, will not get the feel and touch of the concept, he don't like the e-learning. So how to make that e-learning, right, effective? How to make this e-learning, okay, will be adapted by the learners. Time flexible, you need to, okay, right, implement this flexibility of time, right? And they are starting, right, implementing some kind of the questionnaire in between the videos, right? And it should be geographical independent, and it should be affordable cost and the value. If I develop a video content and I ask it to okay subscribe, and it should be reasonable cost and value, then it can be reachable to the okay different kinds of learners. And another most important the thing is for it should be learner centered, not a teacher centric. So whatever contents I know, simply it does not mean I just okay open the channel and bombard and leave. The thing is, okay, whatever the content I teach, that should be reachable to all the learners. I can say this should be the outcome based education, and they have to okay embrace the technology, right? So in the teaching in between, okay, I'll stop and some type of questionnaire will come, right? The students has to the questions answers, right? Some type of videos I need to able to present. There is a huge research is going on, and the last is ethnically diverse. So there is no okay discrimination should be okay for the learners. Everybody has the right to learn in this world. Organizations which are delivering these concepts, right, must consider these issues, be responsive to the learner needs, right, prove their value to learners, okay, and at the same time, we need to remove the burden of the instructors, right? And another thing is when you are implementing the e-learning concept, if you can observe, The videos are very short. It's maybe 10 minutes and there is a break, 10 minutes break, right? Like this one, we need to come with various kinds of concepts. And if you want to make it wide, you need to partner with the different the organizations. And this e-learning will go forward when we people should adapt creative way of thinking, okay, and learning the various concepts. And at the same time, right, why this Coursera, okay, Udemy are famous, okay, why the, let us take whenever we speak about artificial intelligence, everybody speak Andrew Nag. Why? Okay, because the way of method teaching, way of explaining the concept is different. That is why we should be prepared to compete globally with the variety of learning providers. Then only will sustain, and then only it will be reachable to the, okay, each and every learner. So during this pandemic time, e-learning in COVID-19, right? So when the schools have shut, okay, because of this pandemic time, the COVID-19 has resulted in schools shut across the globe. Almost 1.2 billion children, it may be primary, secondary school, it may be higher education, universities, they are shut because of this COVID-19 pandemic. We need to make physical distance. Now, we cannot stop learning, we cannot stop teaching. Then obviously what we have to do? We cannot waste this entire year. As a result, the education sector has changed dramatically. I can say this is the only sector where, okay, there is the huge okay, impact with the distinct rise of e-learning. Okay, that the teachers, they started learning, okay, the different kinds of digital platform, right? And research suggests that we don't know how much okay, the time COVID-19 is going to continue, right? That's why what the researchers are suggesting, that online learning has shown to increase retention of information, okay, and we don't know how much time the virus will stay. So definitely we have to adapt these e-learning and digital platforms. The COVID-19 and the worldwide lockdown have changed the way we look at work, and one of the sector compared to other, which is most hard hit by the worldwide lockdown, is the only education sector. Even after lockdown also, some industries they are working. But when coming to the education sector, it is the most, okay, worst hit by this pandemic, right? So because this COVID-19, right, as per the UNESCO report, almost 150 crore students are severely impacted. And all education institutions have been shut, they closed. And at the same time, the girl education may be affected, leading to increase the dropout. Okay, in cities, okay, for medium and higher, okay, salaried employees, it's okay. But when it comes to the, okay, low income people, right? So they are the worst affected because of this pandemic. Their education is severely affected, right? So we need to, okay, take initiative so that everybody will learn, and all the need to be cautious. Okay, we cannot stop the life movement. That's why education from home may become the rule in the coming days. Even in here also, even in Hyderabad also, the government has started, okay, the online teaching. They started broadcasting through the television channels. Why? Because many of the okay, poor, they don't have even the smartphones, right? So they set up the televisions, right? So government has started delivering these the contents through the different channels. The challenge faced by the world is challenge to keep the doors of learning open. We have to take this as a great opportunity to learn. Okay, the worst affected has been the traditional schools as well as the college education. So what immediate measures have been taken for learning. Okay, we cannot keep quiet, simply closing the schools. The schools, they move to the completely e-learning using different kinds of the technologies like Zoom, okay, like Microsoft Teams, right, WebEx, and even those who don't have the familiarity with that one, they even started, okay, WhatsApp, where they are going to share the education materials, and the students will solve, okay, our students will go through the recorded videos of their corresponding teacher, and they'll follow, they will ask the question through WhatsApp. It is a very big challenge for the institutions, right? And especially even in the semi-urban schools. And what is the long-term impact and strategy in education? So obviously, the e-learning will leverage the teachers. It is, okay, it is leveraging the communities. Okay, and we need to adapt to various kinds of distance learning practices, right? And we need to consider, okay, this e-learning will not divide the society. We can say digital divide, right? At the same time, we need to engage, okay, young people. These young people, they have to come forward. Yeah, young professionals, they have to come forward, and they try to reach the various corners of the people, okay, those who are unable to, okay, access the e-learning concepts, right? So these are the few concepts I thought of sharing with you. These are the references, okay, which I have taken few of the concepts from. So with this, okay, I will stop discussing. If you have any questions, right, you are free to.
Thank you very much, sir, for your kind, for your valuable talk on the e-learning, and we have all agree with that e-learning has become a significant crucial tool for skill development. And we have got one question for this session, sir.
Yeah.
Let me pull out the chat. Okay, the question is, it's a long question. As we all know, electrical engineers, there are some practical skills triangle required for engineers who want to work in the industry, hands-on training, as well as software simulation required for industrial wiring, PLC automation, etc. In current COVID-19 scenario, what are the e-learning that can cover practical hands-on aspects of those training?
Yeah, there are several platforms available for, I can say, e-learning concepts. There are some institutions, even in India, there are some industries, there are some organizations like IITs, okay, they are coming with these kind of e-learning platforms where they are giving some kind of like a simulation, right? They are going to explain the complete, right, simulation of the devices, and they are also going to teach, right, how the corresponding, okay, the device is going to work, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So we have got second question. What steps should we follow to spread e-learning all over the country?
Yeah, it's actually the very good question. As I mentioned, there are different kinds of learners are there. And if you take the country, there are certain sections of learners are also there, like a middle-aged, middle income group, okay, like less income group. So here, as I mentioned, the thing is, you need to identify various sections of the people, right? Nowadays, smartphone is one type of medium where we can teach, we can okay, share the content, right? Where we can record our videos, we can share through WhatsApp or any other platform. Or we need to okay, the tie-up with, we can say like television channels. As in Hyderabad, the government has, tie-up with various the television channels, local cable operators, right? So they have taken with the help of local television operators, and they are delivering the content. A teacher, he will sits in the school, he will record the video, he will, of his the teaching. So the corresponding video has to be shared to the local the cable operators. That will be broadcasted to each and every the student. It is one type of medium where we can easily reach the various sections of the people.
Thank you, sir. As we can, we have our, if we have any more questions, we would actually, sir, forward it to you with your email. If
Sure,
any,
sir, sure.
So we can get feedback from there. So thank you very much, sir, to be with us, to share your knowledge and of course your suggestions for e-learning. I'm sure that students have will get more encouraged on this, because as we are from academic as well, you can understand that students and there are some contradictions and confusions about this e-learning.
Yes,
Hopefully
yes.
it will get more popular, and of course we always hope to go to back to university.
Yes.
There is no alternative with that, but it's e-learning gives us a little bit of the what can I say, a little bit of communication left with the academicians and the students.
Yeah, I can say actually we have to move to some blended kind of learning, offline and online teaching. Why? Because as I mentioned, any technology cannot replace a teacher. So obviously we have to utilize this pandemic situation. At the same time, we have to go for the classroom teaching itself.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir. So we did have our scheduled next topic from Mohammed After Rahman, but unfortunately we can't see him on the participants list. So we do.
After was there. After was there. After one say.
Oh, after one say he's.
Yes, I saw him back. Hello, Aftab. I saw a few minutes back.
Yes, ma'am, I knocked him, but he didn't reply in the chat, so that's why I thought. So actually, if you permit, we do have Krishna Kumar with us for a long while.
No problem.
Mr. Krishna Kumar, would you be able to give your talk now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
So by this time you can contact Aftab.
Yes.
By WhatsApp.
Yes, ma'am. So I would like to welcome Mr. Krishna Kumar, who is a research and development engineer in UJVN Limited, Uttarakhand, and he is a research fellow in IIT Roorkee. And he would give us a talk on the topic of sustainable energy development, application of artificial intelligence in Hyderabad plant, and role of IoT in avoid spreading the COVID-19. Thank you very much. Sir, Krishna Kumar, sir, I have already made you the co-host, so you can share your screen.
Yes. First of all, I would like to thank Professor Celia Senaj and Professor Saji sir, Professor Tansir sir for organizing this event and for giving me this opportunity to speak. I welcome to all the mentors and participants into this training program on IEEE Step 2020, transition to a sustainable future. Myself, Krishna Kumar, I'm working as a R&D engineer in Uttarakhand Jal Vidyut Nigam Limited. It's a government organization in India, and I'm a visiting faculty of University of Petroleum and Energy Studies at Dehradun, India, and currently also a researcher at IIT Roorkee. I have more than 12 years of experience in renewable energy development. These are my index, which I'm going to discuss about UJVN Limited, about hydropower, barriers to the hydropower development, hydro turbines, issues of hydropower plants, application of AI, and some latest developments. UJVN Limited is a wholly owned corporation of Government of Uttarakhand, India, and UJVN Limited operates hydropower plants ranging from 1.5 to 304 megawatt. In totality, 1,292 megawatt is the total installed capacity of UJVN Limited. We are also in the solar power sector, and we have PV-based solar power plants of capacity around 26.464 megawatt. We are committed to develop new power stations in an early and efficient manner of economic well-being and growth of the state and the people of the nation. So, before going to start, we have to understand about the water cycle through which we develop basically the power. So hydropower is derived from the water cycle. Solar energy hits water from rivers and ocean, allowing water to evaporate. Water evaporate and condenses into clouds and drop as precipitation in the form of rain and snow, where it evaporates and restart the process. Amount of rainfall available for hydropower development in a geographical area determines the amount of water available. Seasonal variation in precipitation and shift in pattern of precipitation have a major impact on the development of hydropower. Electricity is generated by channeling moving water via hydro turbines to power electrical generators. Hydropower is considered to be one of the most cost-effective, environmental friendly technology for electricity generation. It has operational flexibility such as rapid start and stop and load variation. The global hydropower installed capacity, we can see that the China has around 356 gigawatt installed capacity, Brazil around 110 gigawatt installed capacity, United States around 102 gigawatt, Canada around 81, India around 50, Japan around 50, Russia around 50. So in totality, the total installed capacity of hydropower plant in the world is around 1308 gigawatt. And these are the renewable source of energy which can be derived without paying any fuel charges because they are derived from the water. Typical structure of a hydropower plant, we can categorize the components of a hydropower plants basically in three parts: civil components, mechanical components, and electrical components. Civil components are those components which are stationary in nature and they are in direct contact with water. In case of mechanical components, they are in contact with the water and they also have the movement. In case of the electrical component, they have the movement, but they are not in contact with direct contact with the water. So accordingly, we can categorize the component of a hydropower plant, and accordingly we have to use this isolation of the components, because electrical components we have to isolate from the moisture and all that, without otherwise it may be malfunction or it may be damaged. So this one is a typical structure of a hydropower plant, where water is diverted from dam and following through the channel, power channel, or we can say the banistroke, and water derive the turbine, rotate the turbine, and one generator is coupled with the turbine, which rotates and generate energy, which was which is step up through the step up transformer and transmitted through the transmission line or power evacuation system. So this one is a simple structure of a hydropower plants. And barriers to hydropower development, there are 7 barriers which can be listed in the development of hydropower plant. The first stage is hydropower planning, because hydropower plant development takes time. It takes 5 to 10 years to construct a power plant. So we required a large investment. We required a large planning. If the planning, there is a faults in the planning, then it may be possible to not get a sufficient efficiency from the plant, and also the investment may be higher. So we need a proper planning of a hydropower plant. Next one is the land acquisition. For a hydropower plant, there is a requirement of a dam and powerhouse structure and other colonies for the development of their working peoples. So they require land acquisition, and in India there is a big issue of this land acquisition. So next one is the safeguard issues. Obviously, during the construction of a power plant, there is a civil work. So we have to take care of the issues, safeguard issues. And next one is the market development. Yes, solar is playing a big role in renewable energy sector nowadays, playing a big role in the renewable energy sector. And the tariff of the solar energy is now has become equal to the tariff of hydropower. So there is a development, there is a large development in solar power plants and parallel development of hydropower plant. They are competing to each other, and it may possible the price of solar may further reduce, but to establish the grid, we require this hydropower power plants to stabilize the grid, because the renewable energy sources, they are in what we can say in megawatts, only in few megawatts, and to stabilize the grid, we require large amount of active and reactive powers. To sustain that kind of energies, hydropower will be must. Again, next one is the financing issues. Financing issues very important, because in hydropower there are large civil structures and require huge investment, huge initial investment. Although the tariff of the hydropower plants is very low. In India, like we have one power plant, Galoki power plant, which was constructed in year 1907, and the price of 1 unit is around 10 paisa in Indian currency. So the tariff is decided based on the life of the hydropower plants. We generally consider the plant life is around 25 years, and accordingly we calculate the tariff of the unit energy generation. And technical challenges also, most of the hydropower plants are constructed near the rivers, and they require technical challenges. They are all are constructed, mostly are constructed in case of India, they are constructed in the Himalayan rivers, and due to height and all that, we have facing number of challenges. Enabling infrastructure, yes, definitely it's require a large infrastructure. So these are some barriers to the development of a hydropower. The major role for the development of hydropower is based on the hydro turbines. It play a major and crucial role to generate energy, hydro energy. It can be categorized basically in 2 parts, impulse turbine and reaction turbines. Impulse turbine basically uses kinetic energy of water at the inlet of the turbine, and it's an open kind of turbine, so there is no pressure drop. It's it's work around atmospheric pressure. The examples of this type of turbines is Pelton, turbo, and cross flow turbines. In case of reaction turbines, the reaction turbines uses potential energy of the water at the inlet of the turbine. And examples of this type of turbines are Francis and Kaplan turbines. The turbine selection and their operating characteristics, the turbine selection is basically based on the location of the site and the capacity, or we can say discharge and head. So we can see in the table, the Pelton turbine allows the head variation from 120% to 80%, Francis turbine 125% to 65%, and Kaplan turbine 125% to 65%. And similarly for propeller turbine and bulb turbine. And the load variation allowed in Pelton turbine is from 50 to 100%. In case of Francis turbine, 50 to 100%. In case of Pelton turbine, Kaplan turbine, 40 to 100%. In case of propeller turbine, 90 to 100%. And in case of bulb turbine, 40 to 100%. So for selecting a turbine based on their specification, like NS is the specific speed of a turbine, we have to take the rated speed of the turbine and the power output and head of the available discharge. So, or we can also use this if we have the discharge data, if we have the head, then we can arrange this rated speed of the turbine, or it may we can say the rated speed of the generator, and accordingly we have to select the turbine. If the specific speed in the range of 15 to 65, then we can select the Pelton turbine. If the specific speed in the range of 600 to 400, then we have to select the Francis turbine. And if the specific speed between 100 to 1200, then we have to take the bulb turbine. And we can see the percentage efficiency or peak efficiency is the Pelton turbine. The peak efficiency of Pelton turbine is around 90%, and the peak efficiency of Francis turbine is around 93%, and peak efficiency of rest of the turbines is around 92%. So we can see that the peak efficiency, or we can say the peak efficiency point of each turbine is around 90%. But what is the main factors to select a turbine? Basically the part load operation, because the discharge may vary from morning hours to evening hours and night, because it's depend on the melting of the snow. So during morning time, if the sun is if the heat is very high, sun heat is very high, then snow will melt higher and the discharge will get high. But in case of night, we will get limited discharge. So we have to operate the machines at part load. So we have to check which type of machines we have to select, which work higher, which work efficiently in part load. So we can see that Kaplan and Francis turbine have higher part load efficiency. You can see the relative discharge curve. It varies from around 5 to 120% discharge. So it goes beyond this. So we can select either it may be Pelton turbine or Francis turbine or Kaplan turbine, because they have higher part load efficiency. But if we are comparing all, then we can see that the Pelton turbine has higher part load efficiency and it has almost moderate peak efficiency point. So according to our need and according to the site, according to the condition of the site, we can select the specific turbine for a plant, and we can get the higher efficiency and higher output of the output power during the planning phase of the hydropower. So we have to select the turbine accordingly. This one is basically a turbine selection chart. It's an Indian standard form. So you can see the head, based on the head and specificity, we can also select the turbine. So you can see that if the head is above 300 meter, then we can use Pelton turbine. If the head between 300 to 400 meters, sometimes 500 to 600 meters, then we can select Francis turbine. If the head is very low, I mean 10 to 60 meter or 3 to 20 meter, then we can go for the Kaplan and bulb turbine. Basically, Kaplan and bulb turbine is used for run of the river power plant, because they don't have any storage kind of thing. They are generally diverted the water and used for the power generation, and they mostly the water is used for the drinking purposes and irrigation purposes. But in case of Pelton and Francis turbine, we have to store the water and use that water to generate the power. So there is a dam-based scheme for Pelton and Francis turbine, and there is run-up river power plants. We have to use Kaplan and bulb type of turbines. Also, there is a trade-off between the Kaplan and Francis turbine. We can see that there is a overlapping between Francis turbine. The head range is 30 to 400 meter, and Kaplan turbine 10 to 60 meter. There is a overlapping between this. So what is this? If the energy generation is high, so we go for the Francis turbine. And if we want to reduce the cost, investment cost, because the Kaplan turbine has cost is higher than the Francis turbine, so we have a trade-off. We have to optimize this cost and efficiency. So accordingly, we have to select the turbine. Kaplan turbine, because Kaplan turbine cost is high, because there is a governing system for guide vane as well as runner vanes. But in case of Pelton and Francis turbine, the runner vanes are fixed. Only guide vane has to be adjusted for part load operation. And for part load operation, there is a governing system in each hydropower plant if they have to operate in a part load manner. But in case of bulb turbine, most of the cases these governing systems are not present, because they are always running at the fixed discharge. So most of the cases, the governing system is not available in micro and small hydropower plants. But in case of mini and above mini hydropower plants, the governing system will be there, because they have to operate the machine in the part load operation. There are some issues of hydropower plant. There are some operational issues of a hydropower plant. Operating a machine at part load. When operating a machine at part load, there is wear and tear in the turbines and generators. Also, operating a machine at part load, there is the chances of erosion and cavitation. So we have to ensure erosion is basically due to the silt, and cavitation is due to the installation of the turbine from the center line. So we have to address those things. And the manufacturer of the turbine and generator, they provided the capability curve of turbine and generator. So we have to operate their efficiency curve, efficiency range, to get the better results. Otherwise, there may be a mechanical damage, physical damage in the turbines, and there is the wear and tear in the generator parts, and also the insulation failure in the generator parts. So we have to ensure the part load operation to run a machine in their characteristic limits. And there is a maintenance issue of hydropower plants. Most of the power plants which are installed in the Himalayan region, they are suffering from the silt erosion, heavy silt erosion. So every year we have to maintain, repair the turbines, turbine underparts, maybe gate and walls also, because they are eroded due to the silt, high silt. So we have to ensure those things also, because the maintenance, when we will take the under maintenance of a machine, there will be energy loss. So we have to maintain, we have to make schedule for the maintenance during the lean discharge period, when the discharge is low. So during lean discharge period, we can plan the maintenance of a turbine, generator, and gate and wall. Vibrational effect is also there. If there is failure in runners, it may be eroded, runner may be eroded, or guide vanes may be eroded. So there is a vibrational effect in the turbine. It may be possible, it may be misaligned, or due to the generator rotor. If the rotor pole is failed, It may be failed due to the chipping with something. It may be bindings may be damage of any pole. So it may create uneven distribution of electromagnetic fields inside the stator. So there is again started this vibrational effect. So we have to measure this. We can also analyze, experts are also able to analyze the type of failure, either it may be turbine failure or it may be generator failure by listening their sounds. So sound effect can also analyze, and based on that we can easily categorize that this particular fault is through the turbine or generator, and accordingly we can take we can stop the machine and take into the maintenance. This one is a real scenario of a powerhouse. It's a 304 megawatt, 76 megawatt each turbine, Francis turbine of Mariri Valley Stage 2, Uttarakhand. We can see that the guide vane condition of this power plant, they are heavily eroded, and the runner of the hydropower plant, you can see the runner vanes, condition of the runner vanes. So they are heavily eroded, and we have to repair through the welding, through the casting, through the polishing every year, and during the maintenance, it requires huge investment for the maintenance also. So we have to prepare the maintenance plan accordingly during the lean discharge period to minimize the power loss, power generation loss. This one is some application of AI, artificial intelligence, in hydropower sectors. We are also developing some of the models to understand the behavior of the system. We can see that the daily plant load in megawatt of 304 megawatt Mariri Valley Stage 2 hydroelectric power plant. This one is the load profile of daily load profile of the plant. And we have used this self-organizing map. It's a unsupervised learning technique, which is used to cluster the data, to classify the data available for the analysis. We can see that there is a large cluster and two small clusters. So they are the useful data which can be extracted from the data available to understand the pattern of the daily load flow, and accordingly we can plan the maintenance, and we can provide the 1 day ahead load schedule to the grid, because they are making a plan, 1 day ahead plan for the energy generation and load for the grid stabilization. So we have to communicate these data to the grid, And there was one application is there. We have also used self-organizing map for analyzing the daily silt records at MB2 hydroelectric power plant. We can see that the daily silt record we have analyzed. We have also some records is around 15,000 ppm, particles per million. But the MB second power plant designed for only 2,000 up to only 2,000 ppm. After that, we have to stop the machine, because beyond that there may be a catastrophic effect, and it may be damaged. It may be damaged the mechanical parts of the system as well as electrical part of the system, and it may be possible to wash out the complete guide vanes and runner vanes of a turbine. So we have extracted the featured data, useful data. We can see that there is one big cluster, yellow color, big cluster, which can be used for the future prediction of the silt. And based on that, we can plan our maintenance and daily load profile of the machines. Actually, I'm working in R&D sector of hydropower plant. So we have also developing one special kind of turbine, hydrokinetic turbine. It's around 500 kilowatt, 5 kilowatt turbine, working with the IIT Roorkee and Maclec, one private company with joint venture. And we are also taking this sponsorship from the government of India, around 4 crore Indian rupees. And we have successfully tested this particular turbine, hydrokinetic turbine. It basically taps the kinetic energy of the water and generate electricity. So this particular turbine is under final testing phase, and in 1 or 2 months we will able to circulate some kind of tenders to install this kind of turbines in our canals. So we are making expression of interest for the companies, those who are interested to work in hydrokinetic sectors. We are also working in we have developed some IoT architecture to avoid COVID-19 kind of thing. We have published one paper recently in in online and elsewhere. So this one is the simple model, data taken from the IoT sensors coming to the gateway and connected to the cloud gateway. Data is used for the machine learning and to predict the models. We are also developing this kind of things for the maintenance of, for operation and maintenance and monitoring of small hydropower plants, because for SHPs, small hydropower plants, we have to invest huge amount for the SCADA system. So we are going to introduce IoT type of monitoring system in small hydropower plants. They are cheaper. It can be developed in 10 to 20,000 rupees, Indian rupees, and we will able to monitor those plants because they are available in far-flung areas, and we are not able to directly connect to those power plants. Even the plant capacity is in few kilowatts, like 1 kilowatts, 2 kilowatts, some of in 500 watts. So we have to monitor their parameters, and for that we are also going to introduce this kind of things, IoT kind of things, and using cloud. And we are planning to work over this. We are working over this. One model has been already prepared, and definitely we will get some useful output from this kind of things. And yes, these are my some references. Yes, sir. If there is any queries, then you can ask.
Thank you so much, sir, for your insightful session. So we have a question from Arman Hossain. Is efficiency percent rates the same in the winter season or dry season, or is it average percent value for all over the year?
Okay. Sir, efficiency of the machine is basically depends on the head and discharge. If the variation in head and discharge, if you will not get the rated head and rated discharge, then definitely efficiency will go down. But we can manage somehow using the proper selection of the turbine, because some of the turbines I have shown you, you can see that. Yes, some of the turbines are able to work. They are having the maximum part load efficiency. The range of part load means we can operate in partial load also. So for the different discharge, they have the same efficiency. So it is possible to maintain the efficiency if we'll select the particular turbine according to the head variation and discharge variation. Okay.
Thank you so much, sir. I'm sure that all our participants and we have learned a lot from you on sustainable energy development. Now, for the session, Sustainable Future, Coping with Post-Pandemic World, I'd like to request Zafir-Shafi Choudhury, co-founder of Bernstein Technologies, co-founder of Singularity Limited from IEEE Bangladesh section, to take the session. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I think everyone can hear me.
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Okay, thanks a lot for having me here. I'm really honored to be a part of this session. So I am Zafir-Shafi Choudhury from, my company's name is Bernstein Technologies Limited, and I have another company, Singularity Limited. So what we do is basically we specialize in IoT, Internet of Things, and we are basically an R&D based company. We also do product development in terms of IoT and LoRa technologies and NB IoT segment. So basically today I would like to
talk about the prospects of IoT and other these type of technologies that can actually have very good impact in the post-pandemic situation or in the pandemic situation right now where we are. So these type of technologies are basically based on remote communication. So these communication technologies are basically the key things that can actually have very much impact in different sectors. So recently we have been working with different technological research and developments that actually involves these technologies so that we can actually implement in the real world scenarios. So I would like to show everyone some of the glimpses of what we have been doing in the past few years, and what we are basically planning in the future that has some really good potential so that everyone can understand and have some insights about it. So let me share the screen first. I think this screen is visible. So my company, Bornstein Technologies Limited, has been working with IoT, and its main motto is to solve problems with IoT and other technologies. So we are basically focused on developing products as well, but we basically devise solutions for different government organizations as well, different private organizations we have been working with. So some cases I would like to present beyond the scope of my basic products that are basically different tracking products and GPS tracking. But we have some other projects as well, like preventing black trip in taxi service. So we have been working with the major taxi companies in Bangladesh from 2014. All the yellow taxi cabs available in the road in Bangladesh is taking our service. So we are basically giving them a very interesting service that actually prevents black trips. So we basically detect every trip. We can actually monitor the trips and how many passengers in the car, and so that we can actually see where the cars are going from one place to another, and where they are taking passengers and they're basically dropping them. So with this, there were basically black trips that actually have been done by the taxi drivers, so that the companies were getting a lot of complaints. So we actually prevented that from 2014, and we have installed sensors all throughout, and we have been preventing that from 2014. Another interesting case is ice cream vans in Bangladesh. All of the ice cream companies, including Igloo and Golden Harvest and Bloop and other companies, they are basically taking our service for a long time, and we are basically giving them temperature sensing devices. That is real-time temperature sensing monitoring device that give real-time temperature and gives the fleet controller or the admin panel a very interesting insight. And they can actually maintain the product's quality from just getting output from the devices and from the cars, so that they can actually have very interesting impact. And one another thing, we have been working with the government to prevent examination question leak through IoT devices. We have made IoT safe boxes that have been deployed from 2016, and from then we have been working with the government to secure the process of delivering the questions from the press to the end mile schools and end mile centers where the exams are taken. So these examinations are basically covering the medical admission examination, dental admission examination, and nursing admission examination. And these questions are basically secured through IoT and by sensors, so that basically no one can tamper with it, no one can actually access the questions before the questions are delivered to the end mile. So this has been actually preventing a very major problem that has been throughout the year in our country. So we have been able to stop that, and it's very interesting. And another service we're basically giving is a portable generator solution, sensing solution. So the portable generators that are available right now is basically covering an bigger proportion of the country's energy gap, because the energy gap is not felt in the cities, but it's really felt badly in the rural areas. And these energy gap is basically affecting the entire communication network platform, like mobile communication, and the mobile communication needs uninterrupted power. So to cover that, there is a huge chunk of portable generators that are being deployed every day throughout the country. The number varies from 10,000 to 20,000 time to time in different seasons, basically depending on the power gap or power outage scenarios. So we have been doing a very interesting solution from 2016 that has this entire portfolio of generators covered with smart trackers that basically track the entire power scenario or power condition of every asset that is being moved around the entire country. So basically we are giving small devices and providing small devices that actually monitors the generators power consumption and as well its health condition, so that the companies who are controlling these generators gets an insight, and who are basically using their service, they can also get an appropriate result without any kind of tampering or any kind of let's say wrong information that they were fed before. So we are basically giving them real-time live data update of how their assets are being used and how these are basically moved around, and basically it is helping the entire scenario of the country's infrastructure. So basically so this solution was last year nominated by government of Bangladesh and BASIS, and it was sent forward to EPIC Asia Pacific ICT Award that was hosted in Vietnam, and we actually became the champion in IoT last year, becoming champion, beating many other countries' interesting solutions in Asia Pacific ICT Award in Vietnam. And we are basically providing some remote monitoring system that is industrial IoT, in terms of different monitoring systems, arrays of sensors, and intelligent business analytics that is actually helping different industries. Another interesting case is vehicle fuel theft prevention that was funded by Telenor from Norway, and that's a big problem in different countries. We always think that in third world, as a third world country, we just have some problems that the other countries don't have. But what we found out that in Europe there is a big problem of vehicle fuel theft and other kind of fuel theft in terms of when they're basically transferring fuel from one place to another. So we were funded by Telenor, and we actually made a prototype device, and we installed our devices in a lot of fleets, and that device was basically funded by Telenor, and it was basically a non-invasive sensing device that actually was installed in the vehicle to actually sense the fuel theft or fuel insertion, and so that everyone can actually understand when the fuel is going in, how much fuel is going in, how much fuel is going out, and the fuel consumption rate. Everything can be done from that device, that small IoT device. And we actually implemented a lot of intelligent data into that, because every vehicle had its own type of fuel mechanism, and machine learning model were there for adaptive noise cancellation, because we actually used non-invasive sensing. So it involved a lot of noises that actually messed up with our output. So we basically made some adaptive noise cancellation so that we can actually have a very interesting data. From that, we actually found out some very interesting output, so that you can see that we could actually relate fuel data to road condition. As we are basically, these devices are basically GPS enabled, we actually understood which road the vehicle was going in, and we also had a reading from the vehicle fuel status from that time. So we actually got time to time, we could compare different roads conditions with the fuel data, and that actually turned out to be a very interesting other implementation of our project as well. And we actually are right now carrying out interesting advancement in this particular field, where we are basically working with the connection of fuel data, like the fuel jumping and the fuel changes, with the road conditions, so that we can actually map the road conditions with the fuel data, and we can actually have the road condition mapped through GPS. So through this, we can actually have a alert system for our customers, so that these roads have bumpy, these roads are bumpy, and these roads have slopes, or many other interesting information we can extract from the data. So another thing I would like to, the main thing basically I would like to talk about is the LoRaWAN technology. The LoRaWAN is basically the narrowband IoT compatible technology that is right now a very key part playing in the IoT world. So basically we have been working with LoRaWAN and NB-IoT from from much time, like to 1.5 year or 2 years. So what we have found out that we were basically facing some challenges in terms of IoT deployment in different conditions in our country, because there is a huge problem in IoT sensor deployment in agriculture and in industries and in some certain cases in homes as well, because these sensors or sensor arrays need to be deployed in a lot of numbers. So these numbers are basically, these sensors needs to be powered, and there are many protocols or many ways to power them, but it is always very difficult to power them throughout a very wide area, because there are some problems in communication, there are some problems in power drop. So these types of problems are always there when we're basically going into a large number of sensor deployment in terms of agricultural IoT or other applications. So what we basically found out that LoRaWAN could actually solve the entire problems that we had earlier before. So we basically adopted the technology. Basically what we have done is basically the amazing attributes of LoRaWAN is basically low power consumption. So you can actually install, we can actually install a battery that is not that much of heavy battery, but we can actually install a battery and have a long time for the long time backup from that. Almost 3 years to 5 years backup we can manage from that particular battery, and that's a very low power consumption solution. And battery based sensor, so no power is needed, no power no power cables are needed. So we actually can install the sensors without any power cable, just a battery that could actually last for 3 to 5 years. And battery can support for long, easy wireless integration. So the wireless integration is pretty easy, because we can actually install a simple LoRaWAN gateway, and we can actually deploy the sensors wherever we want in a very wide area, because the gateways actually support a really long range, almost a kilometer in terms of fields of agriculture. So in agriculture, you can actually, if it's line of sight, it's almost 1 kilometer, more than 1 kilometer of range. So it's very cost effective as well in that case. And robust sensor deployment can actually have a very interesting applications, and it's always scalable. So sectors that are basically, we are looking into it and we are basically testing our devices is in agriculture, industry, and home. We think for Bangladesh sustainability that agriculture is the main pillar, and we are basically focused on that, because LoRaWAN can actually have the impact of IoT and technology in the agriculture that was needed for so long, because other countries are basically working with agricultural IoTs for a long time, and in Bangladesh there's not much progress with it. So we are basically focused on that particular field, that as Bangladesh is an agricultural country, we basically want the agricultural to grow as fast as the entire world is facing. So we're basically focused on agricultural field deployment, and we're basically working on that right now. So this agricultural IoT is basically some sensors that technology, some LoRa technology that detects fertilizer ratios and different minerals available in the soil, and water availability in the soil, or water clogging in some part. So these sensors can be deployed in a long field or long range of area, and it can actually send data for like 3 to 5 years, and you don't have to replace it, you don't have to take care of it, or any kind of let's say any kind of maintenance is not needed, and it's very easy to deploy, and you can actually just place it somewhere and you can forget about it. It will basically point to your gateway, and you can actually have the data for 3 to 5 years, so that you can actually maintain your assets or your field properly. And these actually can have a very bigger impact in terms of our agricultural development. So we basically think these types of technology will and should be adopted by different authorities. And there is a big problem, because many people don't see, like those who are basically involved in agriculture, they don't see the future or the long-term effect of these type of technologies that can have in their projects. So we basically want many people to come forward, and right now we're basically working with some very visionary people who basically want to let's say revolutionize the industry of agricultural technology. So we are hopeful about it, and we actually hope that this will actually basically have very good impact in terms of sustainability in terms of pandemic or the after pandemic situations. And these are very handy technologies that can actually enable the smart or new generation of agriculturists who will basically be more smarter and have more control over their entire portfolio. So that's about it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Your session was very insightful and it was very wonderful. So, so far, we have not got any other questions. I had one question, that is, what is the maximum rate of data LoRaWAN can?
Yes, it's totally free, because free in terms of there is no SIM involved, because these are direct communication methods. So basically you have to install a gateway once, and you have to power it, and it's all under your control. And right now it's completely free, but these technologies will be adopted by in Bangladesh. It's not properly right now governed by the BTRC and other organizations, and it will be governed later, because there is a requirement of bandwidth that you need, and that there is a basic 450, and there are some other megahertz scales that you need to actually explore, the radio frequencies you need to have under your control. So that is basically it, but you don't need any data, or you don't need any SIM card for that, or any other data for that. And the maximum rate of data actually it varies from device to device, but you can from a robust gateway, you can cover at least 2,000 to 3,000 sensors, and that's huge. So you can actually have a very interesting application from these.
Okay, sir, we have another question from Said Ridwan. Can LoRaWAN can be used in a mesh topology?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Then we have another question from Yalala Onti, that, sir, would you like to highlight the challenges of deploying LoRaWAN robustly in our country?
Okay, the challenges are there definitely, because you have to have a big investment at first, because the capital expenditure is a bit more in terms of, because in Bangladesh, like you always face the challenge or problem of having a big investment at the beginning, and you basically get outcome out afterwards, because when you're basically investing in this type of technologies, you're basically keeping in mind that you're investing it for more than 10 to 15 years. And when you're basically investing in a gateway, it will basically last you for like 20 or 25 years. And the sensors can last up to 3 to 5 years without any kind of maintenance or battery change or any kind of, let's say, any kind of problems. So basically, in that case, you have to think very long term. That is a big problem or challenge in terms of Bangladesh, because in Bangladesh, people don't have a lot of, let's say, they don't want to actually involve a lot of investment at the very beginning of the project. So I think going forward, when some people actually come forward, we'll basically have others interested, and this challenge will be gone.
Sir, we have another question, that will the outputs be promising, and what are your thoughts on this?
Outputs will be amazing. Let me put it in this way, because many companies or many scientists have been trying for a long time to involve IoT in agriculture, because in agriculture there are a lot of prospect of IoT, because sensors can do magic in agriculture, because in agriculture you need to know where, if you have a big let's say field or some big asset in your hand, so you have to know where are the places you should actually look into, in what place the water is clogging, and some place some nutrients are missing. So in those parts, you will basically face some losses, and these losses can be minimized. And in terms of maintaining a field or having better output or yield from a field, you have to have proper and balanced nutrients all over the fields. So this is very important, and we have basically entered into a hybrid agriculture economy system, and everybody is basically looking into hybrid yields of different crops, and farmers are basically looking into it as well. So to maintain these hybrid and very high yielding varieties of farming, you have to have technology, and this is the technology that can actually have an impact, because this can actually have a long-term impact, and you can actually get rid of the problems or challenges you had before with the previous technologies. And I think it will change the entire scenario or the entire platform of IoT in agriculture.
Thank you so much, sir. I'm really sure that all our participants have learned a lot. We have another question, if you'd like to take this last one.
Sure.
How we better, sorry, this is a suggestion, that how we better overall in our economy through these techniques and technology. This was from Said M. Sarfaraz. I would request him to post your suggestion for everyone. And I would like to thank you again for this interesting session, and all our participants have learned a lot. And so we will be moving on to our next speaker for the session, IoT Prospects of E-Learning in Education and Skill Enhancement Training by Dr. MD Tausif Ahmed. So Muhammad Tausif Ahmed, sir, I would request you to take over and start your session.
Hello, thank you. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Sir, we have made you
share the screen. Please share the screen.
Sir, you can share the screen if you want to. We have made you the co-host. So did you get the screen share option?
No, it's a host disabled the participant screen sharing.
Sir, I can see you are connected with two devices.
Yes, two devices. One is mobile, and so the net problem sometimes.
Yeah, we can all agree with that. It's becoming a new norm to have a backup device. So just to let everyone know, Dr. Muhammad Tausif Ahmed, sir, he is the head of the Electrical and Electronics Engineering, Motihari College of Engineering, Motihari IEEE Kolkata section. And the topic is on IoT prospects on e-learning in education and skill enhancement training. So just to apologize for not sticking with the schedule, because we are all having every one of the sessions are very good. We couldn't ask to shorten, but sir, if you kindly keep us, yes, it's visible. So I will request you kindly.
Thank you. Because I will shorten the time. IoT prospects of e-learning in education and skill enhancement training. So in this nowadays we are playing technology is playing an important role in major aspect of education and training and in skill enhancement in education system. So IoT technology is having a major impact on the delivery of education training programs, and IoT technology for education, training and skill enhancements required collaboration among the areas of internet, communication devices, mode of training platform, information technology, management, students, teachers. So these are the collaboration among the areas. Then only we are able to implement the IoT technology in education, or as Mr. Professor Chaudhary discussed right now, that is how we are going to implement the IoT in agriculture, in other resources. So this is the platform where we can able to learn how, what are the resources to required to collaborate among these areas. So this one is IoT, or what is IoT? Basically environment and daily life items, named things, objects or machines, are enhanced with computing and communication technology and join the communication framework. And so, am I audible? So, hello.
Yes, sir. We can hear you
Okay.
and see your
Okay.
slides.
In this framework, wireless and wired technologies already provide the communication capabilities in and interactions, meeting a variety of services based on person to person, person to machine, machine to machine interaction, and so on. So what is the issues during this communication system? It will be the major issue is that is we are having the data traffic in current emerging internet. So for this, we are having data analytics technology that we are using to cope up with this data traffic in current emerging internet. So International Telecommunication Unit. So what is the aim of IoT? How it should be get implemented? That is, any time connection should be there. Anything you have to connect, and any place connection. So what is any time connection? That is on the move, outdoors, indoors, night, daytime. Any place connections made on the move, outdoors, indoors, away from the PC, at the PC. Anything connection between the PCs, human to human, not using a PC, human to think and thing to think. Nowadays, human to human and human to thing and thing to thing. T to T, S to T, and S to H. These are the prospects of research is going on, how we can able to implement the IoT in this platform. So this is the ITU, place, anytime and any vision. So use of the technology in training. Now, how we have to provide these trainings is 25% of companies have a separate technology-based training budget. 18% of companies have full-time trainers who are paid from the information technology department's budget. The most frequently used technology in training is the internet, intranet, and extranet. These are the source of training where 54% of companies are working. Use of technology. The second one about the technology, that out of 3 points, use of technology in training is that training delivered by the computer. 60% is not instructor led and is done through self-paced web courses, and 32% uses online mode, YouTube, diskettes, etc. 34% of online learning follows the blended learning model, that is connects trainees with an instructor or other students. The third one is technology, that is the 80% of companies who use e-learning are creating the content of these programs. Of those companies who use e-learning, that is 50% offer it to all employees, 45% offer it to select group of employees, and 26% offer it to the customers. So these are the applications of IoT technology in education system, skills enhancement, etc. So where is the future? Leaders. So where is the future is? That is leaders, students need to manage the changing role of education, lifelong learning. That is in this beginning from students, then education, then you have to adopt the technology, then you can able to move to the future is now. So this way you students have to think and move. Need of the hour. That is in this sphere, that is teachers in the institutions becomes the mentor of educational institutions, and they integrated with the available resources, infrastructure in that institutions and fit the need of the students. Then leaders, students, and teachers become as the change agents. Technology's influence on education, training and learning. So new technology have it made possible to reduce the cost associated with delivering training, increase the effectiveness of the learning environment, help training contribute to goals. New technology includes multimedia, cyber learning, expert systems, electronic support systems, training software applications. So these are the influence of IoT technologies in the e-learning process. And the next is technology has made several benefit possible. That is, students, employees can gain control over when and where they receive training. Students, professional can access knowledge and expert system on as needed basis. Students, employees, trainers can choose the type of media, print, audio, video they want a training program. Technology has made several benefits possible. That is, this is the second point, that is course enrollment, testing and training records can be handled electronically, as presently we are just recording our lectures. This is the, in this technology, this is the part reducing the paperwork and time needed for administrative activities. Students' accomplishment in education, training in progress can be monitored. Traditional training method can be delivered to trainees at their place rather than requiring them to come to central training location. So these are the benefits of IoT technology in education systems. Next one is what technology required: collaboration with the electronic systems and digital system. That is digital collaboration, the use of technology to enhance and extend the students' employees' abilities to work together regardless of their geographic proximity. Digital collaboration includes electronics messaging system, electronics meeting system, online communities of learning, etc. So digital collaboration, the second is, that is synchronous and asynchronous. Trainers, experts and learners interacting with each other live and in real time, just like face-to-face classroom instruction. And asynchronous means that is non-real-time interaction. Learner can access information resources when they desire. That is, whatever the lectures we are uploading on a specific software which are provided by different academic institutions. So that this is the digital collaboration, means that is synchronous and asynchronous. The next technology, learning environment. Learning was a very and occurred after instruction, trainer and learner were only once involved. Communication was one way from instructor to trainee. Trainee played a passive role in learning. So these are the prior to introduction of this IoT new technology in these generations. So what the e-force here? E-learning, the term e-learning we are using here. E is a force. E-learning is one of the several ways in which technology is changing the face of education over the past 10 years. Schools, colleges have transformed from building central places where students learn basic skills to convenient venue where students interact using multiple modalities. One of the most difficult challenges facing educational as an institution today is in trying to predict and prepare for the ways that teaching and learning will evolve over the next decade. This is the difficult challenge that they are facing the educational institutions nowadays. So how we have to make the more class interactive classroom learning environment, that is trainer, instructor. This is the content where it is delivery from trainer or instructions. Then there is a learners are there, many learners, many resources from anywhere resource they can, learners can interact. Then the expert resources, that is materials are provided, that is online and offline. So these are the, that is the classroom learning environment. The next is impact of new technology on the learning environment is technology has allowed learning to become a more dynamic process. So what about the dynamic process here? The learning environment has expanded to include greater interaction between learners and the training content. greater interaction between learners and the instructions. And instructor is primarily delivered to the learners online using the internet. Instructor is more of a coach and resource person. So this is the learning become a more dynamic process. You cannot depend that is a particular faculty will teach this subject. No, it is not like that. Nowadays, the same, any principle, any technology, if you would like to learn, you can learn with these environment. So you have to, that is the learning environment has expanded to include greater interaction between learners and their training content. So these are the features. So next one is learning occurs through communication with other learners, working on virtual team project, exchanging ideas, interacting with experts, discovering the ideas and application. Expert and resource materials are part of the learning environment. So next is technological learning environment. So what is technological learning environment means? That is trainer or instructor is here first, then delivery the mechanism content, how it deliver the mechanism, and this delivery mechanism content is, that is learners are there, that is bi-directional. Bi-directional means that is they can real-time system, they can put their queries actively involved, they put their queries immediately, they will get responded from any place or any remote area to this one. So this is the beauty of delivery mechanism through this e-learning technology environment. Experts are there, that is experts of the specific that is problem they can able to solve, and resource materials are available on through websites and other resources. So this is the technological learning environment through IoT. The blended learning environment. What is blended learning environment? That is online learning, that is bi-directional process, and trainer instructor delivery the content through website. So both are together available. So this is called blended learning environment. Next is multimedia training. Is multimedia training combines audio visual training method with computer based training. This program is integrate text, graphics, animation, audio and video. So nowadays for we are in college, most of the technical institution they are getting by aggregated by international society, that is ABET, etc. So they want to know that which type of education, that is learning technology you are following, whether multimedia training is there or not. So multimedia training is also a part of the e-education systems. So audio-visual training method with computer-based training. These programs integrate text, graphics, animation method. Because this training is computer-based, the training can interact with the content, can be delivered using interactive video, the internet or intranet. These are the challenges of multimedia training: self-paced, interactive, consistency of content, consistency of delivery, unlimited geographic accessibility, immediate feedback, built-in guidance system, appeals to multimedia senses, can test and certify mastery, privacy, and the challenges we are going to face are comparatively expensive to develop because we have to take a platform. So that becomes a comparatively expensive to develop. Training comfort with using technology, regular updates, need learner effort on effectiveness. These are the challenges we are facing by different faculties in India, some of the rural colleges, because they are not much aware with the systems. So cyber learning. Cyber learning is used by geographically dispersed companies to provide information about new product policies, procedures, and skills training and expert lectures to field locations. Features two-way communication between people, involves two types of technology: teleconferencing, individualized personal computer-based training. CBT, as you know, CBT is computer-based training, is an interactive training experience in which computer provides the learning stimulus. The trainee must respond and the computer analyzes and responds and provides feedback to the trainee. Then CBT, these are the content of the CBT: interactive video, virtual reality, small organization having limited workforce, facts, difficult and expensive to send officers offsite, disrupts productivity, take away irreplaceable work hours, consequences, organizations limit training to employees, remedy, That is, this is what about a small organization means, that is some organization, they are work very small. So they are facing such problem, and what are the consequences and remedies we are discussed here in these three facts, consequences and remedy. So for them we are providing web-based training in rural areas of Bihar state in India and Uttar Pradesh areas. So cyber learning program, already we have discussed about the solutions. Adult education, financial crisis phase, many to give up of education early, at later time they wish to continue with what they had left behind. Problem, impossible to attend regular programs, difficult to attend programs run after office hours. Solutions, so asynchronous mode, again they can learn the materials, download the materials after they get enrolled and registered in their specific courses. They can, that it becomes the asynchronous web-based degree program, can participate at any time convenient for them. Commercially affordable, students should take add-on courses which are job ready to increase job market potential, etc. These are the solutions for those who are in adult education systems. So levels of internet-based training here, level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One is communications, online referencing, testing assessment, how we have to get internet-based training program, distribution of computer-based training, CBT, blended learning, or electronic performance support system. Characteristic of, these are the characteristic of e-learning. Next, who uses e-learning? So these are the telecommunication, technology, retail, manufacturing, health, medical. So these are the who uses the e-learning. So whatever, if you go for the e-learning, doesn't mean that this is only based for technical. You can go for any field or anywhere you can get employed. So that there must be some instructor. So you see here, this is the, this line indicate the sky color, that is indicating the instructor led. So another that is black is indicate online self-study, and this one color is indicating that is the virtual classroom based. So everywhere they need the e-learning process. So advantage of, these are the advantages of e-learning. It support organized study and objective. It is accessible at any time and any place. The audience can include students, employees, and manager, as well alumni, vendors, customers, and clients. Training can be delivered to geographically dispersed students, alumni, teachers, employees, etc. Advantages, second advantages are abating is easy. Training can be delivered faster and more students. Practice, feedback, objective assessments, etc. Advantages, again, these are the advantages. Challenges and factors, initial cause, lack of motivation students, lack of management. So these are this one. Intelligent tutoring system, ITS, that is intelligent tutoring systems, instructional system using artificial intelligence. There are three types, that is tutoring, coaching, and empowering environment. So in this, we are using the intelligent, in the coming future within 2 hours, this system ITS would be get implemented in all these systems, whether it is above resources, that is they becomes the member to, they can able to get teaching and coaching, empowering the environments. Characteristic of, these are the characteristic of ITS, and due to shortage of time, my time is already over. And training support technology expert systems, training support technologies, that is electronic performance support system, is an electronic infrastructure that captures, stores, and disruptive individuals and organization knowledge assets throughout an organization to enable individuals to achieve required levels of performance in the fastest possible time and with a minimum support from other places. So these are the e-learning process, that is university students, the learners, then e-learning website, then community members, university researchers, these are the content providers, e-learning developers. So all they are linked with this e-learning process and IoT based education system. So this is the familiar, we have just displayed on this scale. So 4 coordinates we are missing, that is the comfortable with using, non-comfortable with using, and familiar. So all these participants we have distributed among different this one. So non-comfortable, and another side we are making a comfortable with using and familiar. and unfamiliar. So these, how they are, how much possibilities they are familiar with these participants are there. So the next is blended learning approach. So research, e-learning material, face-to-face, community outreach, mentoring, and experiential learning. So this is the way of blended learning approach. Both, as I already said, that is, if you go for some innovative work from, then you need for those who are doing PhD, pursuing PhD or MTech students, for them, where they will get the problems, how they will get there. For they must have to meet with the community, different community and different ways in international and national level. And then they have e-learning materials, so how they are using the e-learning material, and then face-to-face monitoring and experiential learning. And next, career academics. So career academics, accredited blended program for students in high school, colleges, university with a career focus, offer a rigorous academic curriculum, offer certification, offer concurrent enrollment, offer paid internship, have trade association advisory board. So these are the career academies. And there's paid internship, that is students with a real world context for their classroom learning, enhance opportunity for employment after graduation. So some of the internship program they may go, for them they have to pay something. Suppose some industry, they will give some internship program, so they have to enroll with the real world, that is, this is the application in industries. So they are providing, that is a classroom, this visit the industry and the site, they will learn the classroom learning also, that is called their context for their classroom learning. Enhance opportunity for employment, so they become the graduate engineers, they becomes the opportunities, that is, if we grant, they will become the employment after their graduations. So this is all about IoT and this topic. So do you have any queries? E-learning educations and enhancement training. Hello.
So much, sir.
Yes.
Tansir, you are
This
muted.
is
Unmute yourself.
okay, ma'am. Sorry. I was going through the chat box. We have got some questions. Let me
okay.
read it from the chat box. Sir, do you think online learning systems are produced desired outcomes?
Yes, is it possible? Because nowadays, that is, students are able to learn the what a specific, because if you go for the conventional method, so only a specific particular faculty is able to deliver that lecture. So you can't get and maybe cannot able to deliver in the classroom, that is strength of a student is more and more. So in this one, what happened, that is learners are from different parts, and the instructor is also from the field of expertise, so he can learn more and more and get the solution of its queries on time. This is the actively involvement of the uh, students. Nowadays it is very difficult in India, also in some of these states, but we are getting a survey, and we found that the percentage of students day by day is increasing in this learning approach.
There is one question that I am also find out that interesting. That, sir, do you think teachers requires training as well for online learning?
Yes, definitely. Teachers require online training, because some new recruited faculty, they have unaware about this platform, so they need to know how to deliver the synchronous method, or they have to adopt for the asynchronous method learning approach. So they need to learn the platform and how to share, because some of the content is also the copyright property of the faculty, also instructors. So they need to learn how to protect their materials, that is copyright and all those things.
Yes, sir. Also, personally, I think as well, being an education within this industry as well, I mean, it's
Yes.
difficult. The paradigm shift. I mean, the whole
It
environment
takes
has
time, sir.
changed.
Yeah.
So
We
have
have to
to,
update the faculty. It takes time. I think within a couple of years it will be get to implement because in India the government of India is spending a lot of money to enhance this one. So they have a different. All the IITs are running some courses online. That is a massive online open courses. That is we call that is MOOCs and NPTEL.
yes, sir. So also, I mean, uh, the previously instructor task was to deliver the knowledge. Or
Yeah.
what now they have to play so many roles. They have to be IT solution guy as well. Those students having
Yes,
different
this is
problems
the
and
major
issues.
problems. These are the major problem because they go in each institutions we need a data center. We don't have the data centers and accessibility of internet access, etc. So these are the two challenges we are facing in Bihar, in India also. Not all these states, but some of these states we are facing such problem.
Yes, sir. And one final question we can ask is the lab classes, online learning system, how much effective they are?
So nowadays, what we are using, because most of the students, if they graduate engineers, they will go to, if any industry, they work on software directly. They are not working on hardware. So they are working on the projects of software that is simulation based. So we start that is virtual lab, and we are circulating the cloud based license of the software. So
Okay.
all these students are instructed to they get install this software. That is, we are using MATLAB, we are using PSCAD, Proteus, VSM soft virtual simulation modeling laboratories, basically in electrical, electronics, and computer science, IoT based. And they will after that the instructor or experts will deliver connect with all these participants through cloud license software, and they are able to make a different model and they're performing the experiment. So nowadays we are, but in this what happened, we in the course we are just able to only perform, instead of 10 experiment students are performing in virtual through only maximum of 4 to 5 experiments.
Yes, that's what we are
Because
facing as well as.
not more than 4 to 5 maximum. You have to make only 4 experiment. At least if they learn the 4 experiments, so
Yes,
they can able to, that is a Proteus, PSIM. They know how
yes,
to simulate the component in this circuitry, how to learn. Then after that, they themselves able to simulate or model any type of this one. Uh,
yes. If they practice, they
Model
have the
practice
more
in
time to
the
practice by themselves.
yes.
Yes, yes, sir. Thank you very much, Dr. Tausif, sir,
So,
for sharing your valuable experience in this e-learning for the e-learning environment. Thank you very much. So now, since we have
thank,
over the time, unfortunately, I mean,
yes,
again, I'm
yes,
sorry,
yes.
sir. So
No, we have
we
taken
want.
already more time because I have shortage of time in very couple of that is time I have just prepared the slides.
Okay, thank you
So
very much. It was very
mm,
helpful, sir. So now I
mm,
would like to welcome our next speaker, Ramesh Khan, SAC Ambassador, Student Activity Coordinator Ambassador, IEEE Islamabad section. Uh, I
Thanks a lot
actually,
for the introduction. Am I audible to you?
yes, you are audible. So
Let me share my
you can,
screen. Okay.
yes. Okay, thank you
Is
very
my
much.
screen visible?
Yes, it's visible. Thank you.
Okay, thanks a lot. So, my topic for today is importance of STEM education and its impact. As you all know that in our Asia region, there is lack of STEM education as the government and many organizations don't support the STEM education. While in case of Europe and America region, they support, and that's why the professional engineers, or you can say that the students are more creative rather than here. So first, let's see what is STEM education. STEM education is basically what the STEM stands for is science, mathematics, engineering, and technology. These are the four specific disciplines on which the STEM education basically moves. Now, there are the two main definitions. First is that it develops critical thinking and problem-solving skills to the students who need to get in their professional lives. And the other thing, the other mission for this STEM education is that it integrates the four specific disciplines into one thing. For example, if we see any project, for example, robotics, then robotics will include science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, all of the things, rather than the single discipline. Importance of STEM education. Now, let's quickly review why it is important. First of all, as you know that science is everywhere nowadays. If you sit at your home, you are using your phone. If you went outside, you are using a car, and different, you are using map, and all the things requires the science. Even if you talk, or if you see, or if you want to communicate, you use science, technology. Science and technology are related. So it is very